Good morning, beautiful people. It is Thursday, the 9th of January, 2025. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by you guys, the culture. And of course, hosted by the very greatest Brent. How are you, man?
Blessed and highly favored.
We thank God. We thank God. As you lot are coming into the room, though, by the way, if you don't mind, can you hit the like, subscribe buttons? We're trying to get 6K, man. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, help us along the way. You lot are loyal. Every morning you're here with us. So please, I know some of you have probably forgotten. You lot just, do the routine and turn up. But yeah, Brent, what's going on, man?
I am all right. How was your
Your mic seems a bit low.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
That's a bit better.
I wonder if it is I have the processing on that hits the noise gate. No, I've taken it off, so you should hear me clearly.
Yeah. Is that like a compression sort of thing?
Kind of. It's kind of, but not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Compression and the noise gate is a bit different. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Good morning, 9 Ether, DCF Mux, Davina, Antonia Hansen, Imi Snow Globe, Energy, Christy, Adele, Grand Rising, Abby Appia, Andrew, Archibald, Mr. Ashlows, Bex, Dr. Armani, Timmy, Austin, Dumbilly. I've probably just butchered that. Dumbilly. Good morning, Izzy Bambino, Noreen, Johannes, and Mirad Semra. Mirad, you need to jump on Discord, not just type on Discord. You need to jump on the chat function because sometimes you like to do some wickedness behind the scenes.
He's working, man.
What? He wasn't working yesterday.
So what you mean? You want him to actually be on stage or something?
No.
What do you mean then?
The chat function. So in Discord, you can do a voice chat.
Okay.
And then people could join, and then people could hear you talking about sexist stuff.
So what's the difference between that and the chat and the stage thing?
Well, the stage is connected to this show, but when it is we don't have the show, then you can still have a conversation via phone.
Okay. I think I get what you're saying. I said I think I get what you're saying.
It's just called voice chat in the thingamajiggy in the Discord. You haven't played about with it, have you?
No, man. I haven't.
Yeah. So yesterday we had a little back and forth in Discord, and I think a clip was shared by said fella, Mirad Semra, and it was some guy on YouTube. He had a YouTube channel. I don't know who he is, but I guess he used to work at Fox.
Jason Whitlock.
Oh, that's the guy. So y'all were proper talking about him yesterday. I was seeing it in Jason Whitlock, but I didn't know who Jason Whitlock was.
Okay.
Oh, that's who you're talking about. Now I have to go back and read it, so I have context now. But So did you used to watch Jason Whitlock?
No, I didn't watch him like that. When you just know somebody. Like I don't watch like Skip Bayless and that, but you know Skip Bayless, clips
fair.
and all that stuff.
Fair. I've never heard of Jason Whitlock.
Probably come across him, seen him somewhere.
No, I didn't. Now that I know who you're talking about, I know the face now.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But I haven't seen him before.
Okay, cool.
The first time I saw him was when this whole thing came up, and I had clicked a few videos, and he popped up. That's the first time I saw him.
Also, what you had seen him? Okay, so even though the first time was just like yesterday, or whatever, you had seen him prior to what Mirad put in.
Yes, the day before when the Joy thing came up.
Okay.
So I was going through some videos trying to understand the story, the background and stuff, and then his face popped up. Yeah, but he was covering it, but he didn't say what I heard him say yesterday. So I was like, wow, it's a new age, it's a new dawn, new day.
I think he's been like that from day though, he ain't changed. He's from the old school, man.
No. I'm not talking about what you were talking about, what you're trying to focus on. I was talking about what I found weird. I don't think he would have said that on Fox News as a broadcast.
No, nobody would, though, innit?
But yes, I know. I think nobody would. But I didn't think that anybody would then say, well, I do believe people would say that afterwards. I'm sure people on this same channel that we're doing it from, we're broadcasting from right now would say it. You'd say it, wouldn't you?
Say what he said.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the same way, but
the same thing. It would mean the same thing, innit?
Maybe. if I felt that way, yeah. Because I think it's just a reality, though, isn't it? Like men and women do that all the time.
Just remind me what he said. You said that you said.
Basically, all he said, yeah, just for context for everybody, yeah. Basically, essentially, what he was saying, he was giving a lowdown of what occurred with Joy Taylor, which was basically, was it the bulk of yesterday's topic of the day? Or was the bulk of yesterday's topic of the day, right? And this whole situation with Miss Faraji, who, trigger warning, guys, who was sexually harassed, assaulted, all the above, basically, allegedly, in this lawsuit. So anyway, he's talking about Joy Taylor and basically talking about the fact that how over the years, from about 2016 or whatever it may be, when he was at Fox, it's like people were trying to push for her to be on his show. Like, so he had a show with some other guy. They wanted to incorporate a female presence into it. He had no problem with that. But he was like, wait a minute, I don't want to have Joy Taylor. Like, besides the fact that she's attractive and I feel like that's the only thing she offers, there's nothing else she offers. You know what I'm saying? And he said, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm sitting down and working with her and I know she offers nothing and I lose respect for her and I treat her like somebody I have no respect for and basically just see her as an object and then go and pursue her in that particular light. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's basically essentially what he was saying.
Yeah. So, I wasn't listening just now. I don't know if it is that you actually said what I was thinking you were going to say. But he said, the thing that I found weird was that he said, I would have had sex with her after I lost all respect for her.
Yeah.
Because the only thing that she'd have been good for were her breasts and her peanut butter skin.
Well, it's kind of what I said, but I didn't say it in that sort of way.
Okay, all right. Anyway, let's move on. This comment was just put up. By the way, who is responsible for timestamping of yesterday's live podcast? Horrendous scenes. Like, can you give me some clarity here? When you say horrendous, as in it was bad? Because I took time doing that. And I want to know what y'all want, like the best thing to actually do timestamping wise. I used to just put like headlines, topic of the day, blah 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 blah. But now I've actually gone to
detail.
Yeah. This is where we talk about this. This is where we talk about this. This is where we talk about this. So I need to know what's best. And if he's saying it's horrendous, that means he's saying it's rubbish.
Yes.
So I need some clarity on that, please. He said yes, it was overstimulating. What does it mean? Because in my head,
it's too much.
No, I know what that means. But how is it too much? If I've pinned it, you don't have to basically click it.
Yeah, but if there's like, for example, in the intro alone, like, obviously I'm exaggerating here, but 5 different things. He's thinking it's too much, man. Just say the intro. Maybe a breakdown of what was discussed.
So
in one bit.
Do you prefer it how it was before Mirrored Semra? Let me know. And I hope it is you speak for everybody. Because if it's just you that doesn't like it, anybody else likes it, then boy. Boy. Chrissy said that man couldn't get her anyway. He's a corny sellout.
Couldn't get her.
Yeah, there was a hint of jealousy in his diatribe.
I don't think how a man looks. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying this is what Chrissy's saying, but I don't think how a man looks or whatever determines whether he can get a woman, though. I think if he's in a position of power and she thinks that he is one of the routes to get to where she wants to get to, easy.
Yeah, Christy, because the first guy, the Dixon fella, he wasn't a looker. It was it was just money and position.
That's all.
That he had to barter with. So I don't think it matters. And Imai would say, stop looking to prop up this person who's pretending to be a victim and she's not a victim.
What? I would say stop propping up who? She's not propping up Joy Taylor. She's just sending a shot at
I know she's
Jason
not propping
Whitlock.
up Joy Taylor, but that's what you would say.
But you know, if I would say, I would say it, innit? I never said it.
I said the quiet bit out loud.
But it's true though. It's a fact though, because you know what I mean. Like to me, like I said yesterday in the Discord, join the Discord, guys. A lot of stuff is happening in there. And on your way there, like and subscribe to this channel. The main focus needs to be about Miss Faraji, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you took it away from Miss Faraji.
No, I definitely didn't.
By calling them innocent. So
Who's innocent?
you called the guys innocent.
The abusers.
Yeah, you called them innocent.
Oh, Brent, come on, man. You want people to attack me now?
Wait.
I call them innocent.
Are you saying
these
that
animals?
Are you saying that you didn't call these guys innocent?
Of course, I'm saying that.
All right then. Let me
Find it in the Discord.
All right then.
This guy, you know, I know what I'm talking about. You know?
Then.
I called these. You know what Dixon did to Miss Faraji? You saying I called her innocent? Called him innocent? For those who don't know, yeah. Besides the fact that Mr. Dixon was sponsoring Joy Taylor allegedly, according to the lawsuit, yeah, buying them drinks, taking them out, and obviously doing what he was doing with her behind the scenes. There was a situation where they had like maybe like a staff sort of party or whatever it may be, and he comes over to the bar. He's drunk already. Miss Faraji's standing by the bar, and then he puts his hand, like on her lower back. She feels uncomfortable, but then he progresses from there and starts groping her all up and everything. And obviously that's when she feels super uncomfortable at that point, fakes a phone call, and then ducks out of that situation. How the hell am I hearing that information and calling him innocent? That's insane, Brent. Come on, man. I ain't calling them innocent at all. These people are animals.
All right, so where are we? Where should I read from? Should I read from I can't believe, but I fully can, that she was going to use the sexual harassment card?
Oh, in a Discord? Yeah, from the beginning.
No, not read it from the beginning. Do you have
from the way you are.
Okay, so you say, I can't believe, but I fully can, that she was going to use the sexual harassment card if the man acted up. It's insane.
Yes.
He then said this is what was common for women in that space to do during that period.
Yes.
In all of this, I really feel for the real victim, Miss Faraji.
Yes.
Hope she gets whatever she's looking for, if it's all true.
Yes.
And I'm glad this has led to people coming out and exposing the potential liars and betrayers in that world. Disgusting behavior.
Big facts.
Then I say, imagine a mighty... No, this is something else. you respond to... No, you've responded to the thing that was something else. But this is important because this is where it is that you say it.
Okay.
All right. So I respond not from not after what he just said, but for something else. Imagine a mighty white hiring a young black man just for his willy and willy alone, and then admitting it. They are finished. And then you say, yeah, but that would be what they did, not thought to do. Lol. He didn't do anything, but ran away from the situation. He protected himself. He would have been Acho, Skip, or Dixon right now for no damn reason.
Yeah.
So then you say, I say, lol, no damn reason, lol, rah. You always find a way to fix the blame on one side and never the other. A whole Skip put up 1.5 million to get some Skippy. Dixon was out here handing out multi-million-dollar contracts for her spread. And then you said, yes, no damn reason. What he would lose by messing with her would not be worth messing with her. No damn reason. I ain't justifying how he saw her, but let's not act like he did anything to her. Yeah. He ran the opposite direction.
Yes.
And time has shown, probably for good reason. Plus, I'm not blaming one side. I'm just not wasting time defending people who aren't victims. She was going to lie and pull the R card. R is the grape. Yeah, grape card. That's not a victim, in my opinion. Plus, I defended Miss Faraji. She's the victim of Skip, not Joy Taylor.
Yes.
And then stop saying that.
No, because I need to add. You know I'm an ad-libber.
I'm getting there.
I hope so.
Continue.
We're still waiting, man.
You told me to read from where it is I started.
All right, go on.
And then I say, lol, wait. Are you saying I'm defending Joy by saying what he said was sexist? And then you say, absolutely. If you're saying I'm fixing blame to one side because I'm focusing on how he chose to not entertain someone who would go on to say she would use the grape card to control a man she willingly slept with to get to the top, allegedly. That was a long sentence. I don't know how you seeing it that way. He escaped. Ha 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 ha. Yes. Even though he said it in a mad and disrespectful way, he still made the right decision.
Yes.
And then I said, rah. What he said was sexist. I'm now kind of summarizing what I'm saying and what you're saying. So Brent, rah. What he said was sexist. And then E-Man, look how she forced these innocent men to give her favors by sleeping with them. And the woman I claim to care about got mistreated because she wouldn't play along. But I could still call these men innocent. And then Ed responds to say, hey, I think this summarizes this whole convo perfectly.
I expect nothing less.
He had 3 laughs. He had 3 laughs. And then you said you would definitely see it that way, and you put 2 laughs. And then you responded to me saying, look how you spun this. Amazing. You can call what Jason said sexist. That's fine. That's the only thing I cared about, right? I wanted you to admit that it was sexist. So now you've admitted it. That's fine. That's just not the worst thing for me in this situation.
At all.
And so I'm focusing on the worst things, which is to me.
Which is
to me, one, that what these animals did to Faraji is disgusting.
Yes.
2, that a willing participant, Joy, is prepared to tell the world Dixon raped her if she doesn't get away, allegedly. If that's fixed on one side, then so be it. Yeah. Then
Facts.
Yeah.
And sorry, go on.
Go on.
No, go on, say.
Then I responded, it was the first thing that stood out to me in the clip that was shared. I was shocked he even threw those bars in there, telling the world he would have had ended up losing respect for her and then looking to bed her. And then I said, that was so unprovoked. It was definitely self-snitching. And then Black Rob responded, he's basically saying he could have got if she had offered, but no one offered, so he is in the clear.
So, Brent, nowhere in what you said, I said that they were innocent. Essentially.
No, you're right. I was the one.
Of course I'm right.
Wait. I was the one who basically changed the words to the meaning.
Can you imagine?
I basically said what I thought you were saying, right?
Yes.
So what I did, depending on how people see it, is I use different words to say the same thing.
And obviously Ed saw it that way, you know?
Well, I'm just telling you that it wasn't just me. Just,
no, it was you and Ed.
It
was you and Ed.
For the people who commented, yes.
Yeah, nobody else saw it that way.
But why you say nobody else? How do you know?
Because I know for a fact. Unless you're looking for something.
Did you consult everybody that was reading it?
Yes. Because it's clear to me. I'm not calling these animals innocent. Look what they did. So, I would never do. That's insane, Brent. Come on, man.
The reason why I've said that is because you said that they're coming. This girl is coming after these particular people for no damn reason, innit?
Who's coming? Who?
Joy. Joy is basically looking to blame these guys for no reason, right? She offered up a nanny, and they said, "All right, thank you very much." And you said,
"What do you mean blame them for no reason?" Because remember, Joy's not talking about anything.
No, I'm aware, but you said for no damn reason she's looking to accuse them of something, right?
No, yeah, exactly. If they act up, she's going to tell the world that she was sexually harassed, abused, raped by these people.
Yes.
That never did it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. But remember, the main thing that you're talking about is the Faraji woman, who is there saying that these people did this to her.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say to you. Faraji never... I'm not talking about Faraji...
No, I'm aware. Listen carefully.
I think you got something wrong here.
No, I'm not conflating things. It might sound like I'm conflating.
Okay,
Let me just make it clear, right? Your initial thing was about Faraji.
Yes.
And who did this to Faraji? Name the names.
Skip. Skip. I think it was it only Skip?
Are you sure?
Sorry, Dixon. Of course, Dixon as well, yeah. I mentioned Dixon.
So Skip and Dixon.
Yeah.
2 names that you've mentioned in this particular exchange here.
Yes.
And you've mentioned Skip and Dixon only in correlation with Joy. Them being victims of Joy. Yes?
No. See, this is how you got it wrong. I'm in this whole thing, I'm talking about Jason Whitlock would have done all of this stuff, right? and it would have been for no reason. He would have lost it all for no reason if he had pursued joy like Dixon and like Acho.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that what these people did to Faraji was for
No.
reason,
Don't go there. Just say what you were saying. I know how I've connected it. Don't jump to
if
there.
you go to the first comment, I think this is where you maybe got me wrong. Because I think you maybe think I'm talking about the animals when I'm talking about Jason, the one who basically escaped. Because I'm saying he escaped by actually seeing the situation for what it is and her being the type of woman that she is, allegedly, and not going there, he escaped.
Yeah.
And he, like if he didn't,
Yeah.
and he pursued it like those other men, he would have lost it all for no reason. She's not worth it.
Yeah. I understand that bit. Where is that you're saying he missed the bullet, he dodged the bullet. Yeah, cool. So in this exchange, weren't you also showing vexation towards Joy, looking to
course.
Right.
Yes,
So in that exchange, these guys are perceived as victims.
Yeah, but remember, nothing's happened. So they would be victims, 100%. So, but in that situation, the only person who's done anything with Joy, which is the person that she would have made a victim by claiming grape, is Dixon. He was innocent with regards to her because as far as I'm concerned, from the lawsuit, their relationship is consensual. That's what it seems like. That's what Faraji's saying. At least that's my interpretation of it. She consented to this. She's having a relationship with him outside of her marriage and outside of his marriage in the workplace for her to progress somewhere. When she's now got somewhere and Faraji advising her, listen, don't sleep with Dixon and Acho. She's like, my friend, don't worry about me. I'm now in a position of power. If this Dixon guy talks reckless, I will tell the world he sexually harassed me, abused me, raped me, and destroy him. He knows what's good. That's insane to me. That's what I'm focusing on. So in that situation, of course he's a victim. Of course.
Yeah, I said I'm aware that you feel that the men who she would have looked to accuse of grape would be victims.
By definition, yes.
I'm aware.
Okay.
But bear in mind, this isn't the focus of any of this that I'm talking about that I took umbrage with.
Okay. But this is what I said to you.
I wasn't defending Joy.
Okay.
He just said that it's a good thing that he basically dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
Because if she was on the show, he would have lost respect for her and then gone on to sleep with her because of her peanut butter skin and her big breasts.
Yeah.
This is what I took umbrage with.
Okay.
This is what I called sexist.
Yeah, but you said I'm fixing only on one side.
Because you were focused on...
Because I didn't care about the sexist part in comparison to Faraji being the victim and Joy wanted to use the grape card. That's not fixing. That's why I said, if that's fixing on one side, so be it.
Bear in mind, remember, it was you and I going back and forth.
Yeah.
And I was only talking about the sexist bit.
And I was only talking about the thing that mattered to me, which is the Faraji thing.
But
yeah.
You're going on as though... Because you said that I was siding on Joy's side. That's what you said.
When did I say that you sided with Joy? I said to you that I'm saying that if it is that you're saying I am doing this, that's why I said, yeah. Because I'm not seeing it that way necessarily. But if you're saying I'm fixing on one side, then yes, I am. If indeed you are doing the same thing. That's what I said. That's what I said. Absolutely. ... If in capital letters, ... You're saying X, Y, and Z about me, that's exactly what I'm saying. Because how you've got this for what I'm saying, I have to use the same logic and get that from what you're saying. That's basically what I said.
Anyway, fun goes down in the Discord. We do this every single day.
Join the Discord.
I will always be an advocate for showing up these people who are sexist, and Emmanuel will always be an advocate for showing up the other side.
I'll be an advocate for showing up for somebody who can be potentially exposed to the world falsely for being a grapist. 100% I will be. 100%.
You should say 200%, man.
Trillion percent. There's no way in life that a man or a woman should be in a situation that's consensual and because somebody wants to manipulate them and the situation, tell the world that he or she is a rapist, and that's fine. I will never in a trillion years hear, and in the life to come, hear that and not say anything. Impossible. That's what I'm saying. And if that is fixed on one side, then so be it, goddammit.
Do you think that she should get time if it's found that she actually did look to do this? Because it would just be hearsay, wouldn't it?
What do you mean? Oh, you mean if she was just, as in, she never actually pulled the card, but was thinking of that? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
No, but if she didn't do it, I can't say it because everybody has all sorts of thoughts.
Ah.
I think it's about the action. I think in an ideal world, yeah, because you are a potential killer, but you can't lock up potential killers if they ain't killed nobody. You know what I'm saying?
So if somebody is on WhatsApp and they are talking about killing somebody,
yeah,
they shouldn't be arrested.
No, not necessarily. I think context is key. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think context is key. I think you have to look at how real the situation is. You have to have the evidence and all that sort of stuff. But like you said, I'm not saying that I doubt Miss Faraji's story of line of events. I don't doubt that at all, to be honest with you.
What are the rules pertaining to trigger warning, child molestation and pedophilia and whatnot, and you're talking about it on WhatsApp with like a community and whatnot?
Oh,
can you get arrested?
I think so.
Even though they haven't done anything?
I think so. I'm not too sure though. I'm not too sure. You know, I don't know about them animals over there, man. I'm literally trying to think back to Hugh Edwards' situation, but that was actual pictures though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure. But if you're just
and he didn't get arrested.
Yeah.
Oh, he got arrested. Yeah. He's in jail.
No. He got suspended sentence.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's at home. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got something.
All right. There's a comment from YouTube.
Okay, so we got a comment yesterday.
I think we have 2.
All right, 2. First one is, hey Brent, this stance on Arsenal is juvenile. This season would have been the best time to capitalize, but we seem to be going backwards. And last season was the best time to win the title. And to say that Arsenal are going to be proper number 9s and to say that Arsenal are going for proper number 9s is a silly take. If we claim to be a big club, how come we haven't got our number 9s, our number 1 targets in capitals? We can't even win a trophy. Pure Jedi mind tricks. Arsenal is a fashion brand. Liverpool are a better outfit, even in their old age. That was powerful. That part there, Arsenal's a fashion brand. I like that.
You agree?
You know, I've kind of switched off from Arsenal for the past few years, so I don't really know much about Arsenal. But I like how it sounds because it kind of speaks to some truth, though. But at the same time, obviously hearing what you were saying yesterday, obviously the back and forth, every now and again when I do try and listen about the whole Arteta, if he's good enough, I do feel like people need to give him a chance. I feel like he's performed well. I don't know why people want to get rid of him because he hasn't won a title. Everybody else before him ain't won no titles, but he's surely got the most consistent amount of times, right? But again, I don't watch it like that.
Yes,
so
that's why it's difficult for me to entertain this conversation.
There you go.
Because you haven't. And it sounds like he has, so I wouldn't take what you're saying weightier than what he's saying because he watches it more.
Oh, of course.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Even though what you're saying, it's on my side.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I can't entertain that.
Yeah. Next comment?
No,
okay.
I asked 9ether to join the Discord because I'm not going back and forth on YouTube comments for this thing. I've opened up a thread on Discord to talk about this because I want to hear the arguments that these Arsenal fans have. I want to understand it. Even from his comment that he made, there's certain things that don't sit right with me, and I would like to basically get to the bottom of it. I want to know if it's just vacuous. I want to know if it's just surface level. I want to understand what's informed him to say certain things. Do you understand? But the fashion brand thing is crazy. The amount of work we've put in to be called a fashion brand, is mental. Mental. Man United would love to be a fashion brand right now. Next one.
Next comment. Come on, Killy. Great episode as always, guys. Gems, facts, and funnies. All in one. Big up. Come on, Killy.
I love comments like that.
Yeah, man.
It shows you appreciate us.
Yeah, man.
All of the funnies, all of the info, all the gems. Thank you very much, sir, or ma'am, or other.
I think they know what they are.
Yeah, but I don't know. It could be anything there.
All right. Should we go into the headlines?
Definitely.
All right, people. Trigger warning on this first headline. MPs have rejected a Conservative bid to push for another national inquiry into grooming gangs by 364 votes to 111. The government's draft child protection legislation cleared its first Commons hurdle on Wednesday, following a bitter Prime Minister's questions in which the Tory leader, Kemi Badenoch, said failing to back a probe would fuel concerns about a cover-up. The Conservatives have tabled the motion to the Children's Wellbeing and Schools Bill, demanding a new national inquiry into gangs, which, if approved, would have prevented the legislation from making progress. But MPs voted to reject the motion by 364 votes to 111, a majority of 253. The division lists show that supporters of the amendment included 101 Conservative, 5 Reform UK, 2 DUPs, and no Labour MPs, basically. The bill later received a second reading without the need for a further formal vote and will undergo further scrutiny at a later date.
If you were part of Labour,
Yeah.
and this particular bill came across your desk, and you know that you had to vote for or against, first of all, what would you vote? I don't know if you've been following this, Emmanuel, but
I haven't fully. That's just the issue.
okay, just on the surface, they want to open up a public inquiry about these particular gangs and the failures of government during that particular time.
Which will be their time, though, right?
Who's there?
As in the Tories' time.
It
Because this
was
has been going on
definitely-
for a
It
while.
was
hasn't it?
definitely in large parts during the Tory time, yes. And that's why a lot of them are now leaning in heavy to try and, blame Sir Keir Starmer for it, right?
Yeah.
But the question I asked was, if you were part of the Labour government, party member, not party member, an MP, and you were asked to vote for or against, what would you vote?
Of course, this is based on what I know about the thing, which is not too much, right? But I think I'll try and look at the nuance of the situation, man. Because some of these things just sound good on the surface. Yeah, vote for it. Of course, we need to have an inquiry into what's going on with the grooming gangs. And some of this stuff is just nonsense. There's no need for an inquiry. We know what the situation is. Plus, sometimes just a distraction. It's just a way to try and put resource into something to make us look bad. If that's part of the agenda, I'm not falling for the nonsense. And I'll vote no. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a Labour MP. That's how I see it.
Okay.
But I'll look into it, though, innit?
All right, cool. And let's say you looked into it and you did see absolute corruption that led to a whole set of white girls being victimized, abused, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, no, we need to look into that, man. We need to know where the failings were so we don't repeat the bollocks.
All right. So if you do look into it and you find out that it's rife and there was corruption and whatnot, would you vote against the will of the party? Because you just said all the Labour MPs voted for. Against, sorry.
I think I probably would, if I really felt passionate about it. I'm trying to put myself in that position about something. Not to say I'm not passionate about this, but I'm just trying to put myself in a position where if this was something I was super passionate about and I'm a Labour MP, even if the whole party went against me sort of thing, would I still do it? I think I would.
In this case, it sounds like I believe that there are some Labour MPs who would have wanted to vote for it, but they couldn't because the head says we are going this way.
Yeah.
If that's the case, Emmanuel, would you go that way?
If I believed in the head?
Yeah, no. If you believed in what you believed and it was counter to what the head believed.
No, yeah, but I'm saying it like that for a reason. Like, for example, if I believed in the head and I believe that this is maybe a strategy here, let's leave this one, or we can potentially so-and-so, then yeah.
So you are also saying, even if you do believe it should be looked into, if the head says they are trying some ploy, you would still kind of be like, all right, we're all going this way, let's all go this way.
I mean, I'm an organisation person as well, innit? As much as I have my own personal beliefs, if I'm part of an organisation, I believe that all of us believe in a particular thing, we're going somewhere, let's do it.
And that also pertains to DEI.
In what capacity, though?
If it directly talks to black people in the weeds of it. And if you vote against it, you're basically taking away rights that have been given to us in deep down the weeds?
Again, it depends. Like, again, if I fully believe in the leader and believe that we're going to address this properly at a later date, or in a better way as well,
Yes.
then I'll probably go with that. Because kind of like my economic views on life, I believe that everything has an effect on the now as well as the tomorrow. And sometimes, at least most of the times, most people tend to sacrifice tomorrow for today. I don't see the value in that. So if it is that we could potentially get what we want long term and it be more of a permanent fixture for us and the betterment of black people, but let's sacrifice this thing today, then I'll go for it. You know what I'm saying? But if I saw nothing that we can gain from, and this is just them just doing what they do best, then no, I'll be the one person that will vote against it. Yeah. That's how I see it, man.
All right. Thank you.
Next headline, trigger warning on this one, people. Yesterday we spoke about this as well. Trigger warning, like I said. The 14-year-old boy who was stabbed to death on a bus in southeast London yesterday has been named as Kelyan Bokassa. No arrests have been made so far, but officers are appealing for witnesses who were on the 472 bus. An aspiring rapper, 14-year-old Kelyan, was also briefly a student at St. Columba's Catholic Boys' School in Bexley Heath. The South East London Catholic Academy Trust said in a statement that it was saddened by the loss of life and added that our thoughts and prayers are with his family and friends at this difficult time. Mary Bokassa, who's his mother, also told Mail Online that he and others were taken advantage by gangs and were groomed. She told the outlet that he was missing for a year and was living on the street. He finally turned up at my doorstep. He was sick, underweight, and tattooed. He was exposed to drugs. He probably experienced something because I could sense it. He was not himself. If I questioned him, he wouldn't tell me anything about his friends. The detective, Chief Inspector Martin Thorpe, who's leading the investigation, said following Kelyan's tragic death yesterday, specialist officers are now leading the investigation, which is progressing at pace. Sad news, man.
Do you know much about this?
Only what I read just now yesterday.
I would love to have a topic of the day where we talk about this grooming stuff, right?
Ain't we done it a couple of times?
Yeah, but the different angles and stuff in it.
Okay.
And I don't know if it is we've gone deep into the glorification, the romanticized nature of how it is we look at drill, knife crime, gang lives and stuff. Look, this picture was put up by this particular thing on X, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the boy, apparently, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then below it, they put his YouTube video, like some track that he was doing.
Yeah.
And I played it.
Bangers and mash.
Bangers and mash. I don't think it's going to get flagged. Let me see how many. Oh, it might get flagged. But basically, his hook, he says, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to find the hook.
CID, but bro, we can't get spun this whip car. If you get spun this whip, it's like 10 plus years in a blood clot bin. I'm the shortest you on my block, but I still roll with the longest thing.
Alright, I'm the shortest you in my block, but I still roll with the youngest thing. Sorry, with the longest thing. Right? So what is he saying there?
It's hard, you know. I mean, yeah. Just being fair. Yeah, you know what he's saying, man.
But he's dead.
Yeah.
R.I.P., so keep the jokes to min.
Yeah.
I know what we're doing in this room, yeah? But let's be respectful.
Oh, 100%.
All right, cool. So what is he saying there?
He's saying, the shortest, but he's got obviously the longest thing with it. He's saying it in English, man. he's tooled up, innit? Allegedly.
All right.
For entertainment purposes.
And then he made the...
I didn't even see that part, yeah.
Oh, you didn't? All right, cool. So this is the hook, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's 14. When you were 14, were you old enough to know what was what?
What was what in what way?
Life.
In this way?
Life. Decisions that you made. Choices that you made.
Not every decision. No, hell no. Of course not.
When you were 14, were you in a gang?
No.
Were you ever groomed?
No.
Don't go like that.
Oh,
You
like
could
what?
never be groomed.
I never said any of that.
Were you ever approached to be part of a gang?
Nah, man.
Look, you're not gonna.
No, but I'm the wrong person to talk to about this sort of stuff.
But you, what?
Yeah,
The right person to talk to. You grew up in Pembury Estate.
Yeah, I know, but I'm somebody who's very I don't talk much about certain things, innit? So I'm not really. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know what you're saying. What did you just say?
I don't talk about it.
Sorry. If you would not like to talk about this, then tell me. You're feeling comfortable talking about this.
It's not even that I feel uncomfortable about it. It's just that's my natural, disposition.
Listen
and stuff,
carefully
innit?
to what I'm saying.
I heard you
don't want
very
any
clearly.
subterfuge, my friend.
You know what?
I don't want any roundabout thing.
We could talk about it. We could talk about
This
it.
is what I want to
But
talk
yeah,
about.
but
You
obviously-
grew up in Pembury Estate.
Yeah,
right?
what does that mean?
I only
We're
knew.
wholesome people over there, man. We're wholesome people.
There are always wholesome people
That's
in
what
the
I'm
midst of
saying. Yeah.
chaos. Pembury Estate was a hotspot. Don't go on like it wasn't.
We ain't got no chaos over there. I'm telling you. I love
What
Pembury.
are we doing here?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm saying that's my home and I loved it there.
You're dumb.
That's
If
what
you
I'm
if you feel uncomfortable talking about it, just won't talk about it.
All right, fine. I don't feel uncomfortable talking about anything, but forget me. Follow where this brother was going. What are you trying to say?
I asked you at age 14, I want to gauge who you were decision-wise. Like, who kind of influenced you at age 14? Did your friends influence you at age 14? Did
Yeah,
the
of course.
oldest influence you at age 14?
course.
You had
Yeah.
oldest, didn't you?
Of course.
All right. So I want to know at age 14
Mm-hmm.
who you were.
Yeah, but you know me at age 14 though.
We're on a morning show
Oh, yeah,
with
pardon
people who
me.
don't know you.
Pardon me, Brent. And then go on.
So at age 14,
Mm-hmm.
you said you weren't in gang life,
No.
right?
Yeah.
All right. And age 14, you weren't groomed.
Nope.
All right. When you were younger than 14 and you were around olders,
Yeah.
did any of them look to get you to do certain things?
Nah, man.
Did they ask you to basically do anything?
Nope.
Did you see any of your friends being asked to do anything?
Nope.
All right, cool. So you saw gang activity growing up, didn't you?
I mean,
I'm not asking you to say what you saw because you say it's snitching. But
I
did
was
you?
snitching. I just wouldn't. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Go on. I'm listening. I'm just messing about. I'm just trying to make light of a very traumatic situation.
I know the different sides of this particular grooming conversation, and we've seen that with Margs being in here saying that some young boys wanted access to quick cash and power and this, that, and next, and they fully well knew what life it was, and they willfully went into it. And some people would argue, no, it's impossible for them to ever really know what is on the other side. Do you understand? So I want to know if you saw both sides of the argument growing up.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Because both sides kind of exist.
Yes.
And yeah.
At
that's
what
just how it is.
age is it a case where you stopped saying that they had no choice and they made their own choice?
I don't see it as an age though. I see it as a circumstance thing. A lot of these things are circumstance. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's not an age thing at all, man. Because certain people get into certain situations late, and I hear about I don't know. Basically, there's certain situations where people could be involved in a situation later in life. You feel like at that point in life, we've already, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you now in that situation? It doesn't make no sense. So you might say, okay, cool, flippantly, that's a choice situation. You know what I'm saying? And you're like 19, you're 20, for example. But then, you know what I'm saying? Am I making sense?
Weirdly enough, I always look to, at the end, blame the parents.
Okay.
In my head, I blame the parents, right?
Okay.
And why I say I blame the parents is because that's where you first see signs of disobedience, right? And the disobedience leads to, I'm going to go and do, as in allowing the disobedience, I'm going to do what it is if I want to do. Now, I know even in me saying blame the parents, there's so much nuance in that, right? Because every single family, every single household is completely different. Sometimes you don't have this particular role model in here. Sometimes you have both role models there, but it's not good, right? Sometimes you, that particular child, they are absolute angels in the household, and they don't know what the hell it is happening outside. But I'm also thinking you should need to know, or you should find out what your child's up to. You should know who your child is hanging around with. Do you understand? In my head, you should do everything that you can to basically know everything about where your child goes, who they're chilling with, and this, that, and the next, right?
Yeah.
And even in that particular scenario, there are times when it is falling through the gaps, you just can't know everything, right? And then when it is that you find out that your son is now dead, you now find things out that you never knew at all. And then again, your other child might know, and that other child didn't tell you because they have some code with your flipping sibling not to basically do this, that, and next, right? So there are many different things. But when I see something like this on X, where they've shown this particular guy, because initially when people hear he's a 14-year-old boy, they're like, oh my goodness, this is so sad, blah, blah, blah. And then you find out he's a gang member, right? And then you find out, what did you just do just now? You just kind of grimaced?
No, I said,
Allegedly, he's a gang member.
No, I didn't even react to it.
All right. Allegedly, he's a gang member. And allegedly, he was involved in certain activities, right? He could have taken somebody else's child, right? Yeah. And empathy is now withdrawn once it is that you go down that particular rabbit hole. And I do
withdrawn
believe
from who?
Withdrawn from
him? By who, though?
By people who would have said, oh my goodness, he's 14. This is so sad. He's just, once you have more information and you now see certain imagery, right? You see now a video of him basically glorifying this particular lifestyle.
Yeah.
Empathy for some people is revoked, right? I know other people are like, nah, he is still a victim of circumstance, victim of his environment, right? He probably got groomed, right? Because as you just read just now, he was groomed. His mother was there saying he came back after a while. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's empathy to go around for different people. I understand. But the conversation about choice, when does it come in? Did he have his own faculties? When did he have his own faculties? And even if he had his own faculties, should we still extend empathy? Because the reason as to why this is romanticized for you is because of the system glorifying this particular thing. And do we then, us, have a responsibility now to combat that by not looking to romanticize this type of music?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I mean, first thing I was going to say, it's funny you're talking about this because it's somewhat related to the topic of the day, isn't it? But number two, I definitely think it's down to us, though, innit? More so the dads, the fathers, innit? The men. Because I feel like a big part of problems in our children's lives, family life, is because obviously us men, we ain't there, innit? I think that's the main thing, anyway. But at the same time, even when you are there, depending on the economic circumstance and situation of that household, these things can still happen, man. Because I've seen it bare times where both parents are there. But both parents are there, as in they come home and sleep in the house, but they work 2-3 jobs. So there's overlap, and you're not there fully able to raise your kids because that's just, you know what I'm saying? Like that has to be the priority so you can put food on the table. So whilst you're not there, a kid might be chilling with his friends outside, might be chilling over there, might be at whatever, certain circumstances, certain places where ideally at 11 years old, at 12 years old, they shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? So you become desensitized. This is why when you have a conversation with certain people from certain backgrounds and stuff, they won't see it in the same way you're seeing it because it's not a case of, oh, you know, this person's just a victim. It's more so a case of everybody has grown up seeing something in a particular way. And to highlight one person as a victim and say one person abuser isn't necessarily seen as the most accurate way of seeing something. Why can't they all be abusers or all be victims, potentially? Again, there's nuance because not everybody falls into that category. But typically, that's how it is. Everybody's just in the same thing, trying to survive. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's not everybody. Of course, some people is just there from glamour. I used to think to myself, why is it like, for example, obviously, when you go to school, secondary school and whatnot, you mix with people from different backgrounds and stuff, innit? Different, middle class. And I used to think to myself, why the hell do you want to, why are you moving like you're from these backgrounds, where we're from, sort of thing? Like, I don't understand the appeal. It's like, most time we would prefer to be living where you're living. but you're acting like hair is the most gracious, amazing thing in the world. It really isn't. You know what I'm saying? So it's the glamorization part of it. 100% is attractive to people, and even attractive to everybody that was brought up in them sort of areas as well. But then with life, with time, with age, you then start to see how it comes back, and the people you know start to disappear. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just not something that's really productive and stuff. But anyway, to bring it full circle, something definitely has to be done.
No,
and I think it's
don't just say that, because it's so easy to say that. Right?
No, I'm getting to some of the things that need to be done, and I think it's pretty much the first thing I mentioned. I think it's the dads, it's the men that basically have to do something. We can't rely on police to do something. We can't rely on the system to do something. You know what I'm saying? It's either the system has caused it or the system doesn't care enough to fix it. Either way, you're still left with the situation. And again, to kind of relate it somewhat to the topic of the day, one has to ask the question: is the entertainment industry, is the music, is all of this stuff, are certain things put in place to further this agenda, to keep us like this? Or is this really just the other way around, where entertainment is literally just people writing about stories and stuff that's happening?
So given that entertainment might have some nefarious agenda, and they might always have a nefarious agenda, this is a thing that you can't control, right? But what you can control is your household. What you can control is you being in your children's lives. And let's talk about it, because Mama, I want to generalize. For the
benefit of your timestamps, let's go to the topic of the day so we can keep it.
But we are in topic of the day.
We ain't, man. We got another headline. Then breeze through that one and then thingy.
Go on.
You know what I mean? Just so it's easy for you.
Well, to be honest, Mirad said he's going to be doing it to show me. No, he said he's going to do an example to show me how he would like it.
Okay, cool.
And then I'm assuming he means today.
Have you done the transition though? You ain't done the transition. Innit?
No, not yet.
Okay, cool.
No, but listen, I just spoke about the Mirad thing. I'm not telling you not to do the last headline.
All right. No, the reason why I'm saying is because that last headline, I could just put it into the other set of headlines. And we could just go to topic of the day right now, innit? To prevent all that.
Yes, that's better.
Cool. All right.
Let me just press it. Somebody just sent. Hold up, let me just put it on the screen.
Talking to Mac, Brent.
No, just put it on the screen to you.
Okay.
All right. It says, can you try and get Dr. Tunde Okiwale on to talk about the music side and the crime? I don't know who that is, but definitely I'm going to Instagram him like afterwards to see what's what. Hopefully he has information that might be pertinent to what we're talking about now. But I'm not going to do it now, obviously, after show.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Are you going to kind of read out what we're going to be talking about, or should we just continue?
Oh, no, it's pretty much, yeah, let's continue,
right.
Man. Basically, all it is, the topic of the day is just basically about the entertainment industry. Misinformation, fear, control is the agenda of the entertainment industry, entertainment as a whole, whatever it may be, there to kind of keep the people passive, there to inform the people, get them to move in a particular direction, to do things, you know what I'm saying? So that we don't necessarily, for whatever reason, but I guess one may say so that we don't turn our gaze towards where the actual issues are. You know what I'm saying? So yes, go on, man.
All right, cool. So the entertainment industry is something that we can't control, right? When I say we, I guess we as parents or future parents, we can't control that. What we can control to some extent is what is happening in our household, right? Is what is happening with our children. And I know there are unique cases where everything could be perfect inside, right? And complete contrast is had or happens outside with the child, right? I want to talk about what can happen en masse as opposed to what can happen in the individual cases, right? Let's generalize here. Yeah. The thing that we deploy or adopt or integrate into our household, I believe, has a direct impact on how the child grows up, who the child looks to have as friends, what the child looks to do in their spare time, what the child looks to do when it is our eyes aren't on them, right? So let's focus on what we should be doing or looking to do in a black household in order to basically reduce the numbers of boys and girls going into this type of lifestyle, right? Because I'm not referring to victims who are actual victims minus gang activity, because there are people who get chefed up, right, who aren't in gangs.
For no reason.
Yeah. In fact, I hear that some of them, I know that some of them walk with protection for fear of their life, right? And they're not gang affiliated. You've heard of that also, right?
Of course.
How would you respond if you're a parent to find that your child was walking around with a knife, not because they were gang affiliated, but because they were afraid that if they do get attacked, they would be defenseless?
It's a tough one, man, because obviously I'll have to assess my situation in it and why I'm here, though, innit? Because I feel like I would have gone backwards, innit?
Sorry, I don't know what you're saying.
So basically what I'm trying to say is, when you obviously, become an adult, make certain decisions, you're earning money or do whatever, there's no need to live in those environments, innit? Like, you move in.
Oh, you're saying why you're in the hood?
Why? Yeah, and why
Okay.
why is the things that was replete in our environments where I am now? You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing I'll think as a parent. Like, why is the same thing being repeated? Right? That's number one. But that aside, it'll be one of the most saddest things, to be honest with you. 100%. I'm not too sure how I'll deal with the situation off the top of my head, but because you can't just say to somebody, "Oh, listen, don't worry," like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, oh no, just stay on the straight and narrow. Nothing's gonna happen to you. You can't just say that to somebody because that crap, it's fake, right? And obviously,
This is good. I'm going to be asking you this because of where you grew up and what you seem to now still be holding firm to. You're going to say some interesting things. The TDA hotline is open. I would love to have multiple voices talking about this topic, because I know I don't represent everybody with my thoughts, and Imran doesn't represent everybody with his thoughts. So as many people as could come on to the hotline to join the conversation, that would be great. Thank you very much. Now, you just said just now that, correct me if I'm wrong,
yeah,
when it is you're guiding your son or your daughter, when you're telling them about the world, you're telling them about what is out there in the streets, you aren't going to pretend like it's all rosy, all prim and proper. This is never going to happen. You're never going to be happened upon by an individual with a knife or a gun.
This is basically me, God forbid, finding out that my son's carrying a knife with him, basically, right? In response to that, because how do I tell somebody who feels? Because remember, my son ain't stupid, right? Hopefully, anyway, none of them are stupid, right? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, cool. I've seen this guy with a knife. He's rolling around. He's living his life, whatever. But he just needs it for protection. He's not about that life. He doesn't want to be, but he at least cares about his own life, right? How do I now tell him there's no need for it when I'm decades removed from a situation where I'm not a child? I don't know what he sees. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, and
He has to inform me.
This is why I said it's going to be very interesting, because what I'm hearing you saying is you might not tell your boy, leave that knife at home.
Oh, no. Do you know what it is? No, I wouldn't do that. Oh, that is mad, you know. That's a good question, Brent. But no, I wouldn't do that, because that is insane. That's insane.
What is insane?
As in to say, keep it with you. That's insane. That is insane. I think if I ever thought that, I would have to believe and know my son was a gang member. If he was active, I might say that. Or at least I might imply it. Or at least I might tell him not to, but I would want him to know I don't mean it. Because his life is important.
I want you to be very clear when we're having this conversation. I don't want no,
do you know why, Ben?
I don't want no Iman speak.
No, do you know why? Do you know why? Because I'm thinking about it in real time, innit? I feel it's very different. That if somebody's a gang member and they've got something with them, they understand what's going on. That's somebody whose life is, you know what I'm saying, at risk. If you're somebody who's not involved in nothing, and you're just thinking, well, it happened to my friend last week, and he wasn't involved in anything. It was just one of those sad situations, mistaken identity, or it's just I don't know. I think that's different. And I can say to that person, don't live that way. Don't do this, because look at the risks. You know what I'm saying? With you, you might feel the need to use it in a situation where there's no need to use it. Plus, if you're caught with it, you could find yourself in prison wasting your life. You know what I'm saying? He's not active. You know what I'm saying? But someone who's active, I'm not agreeing with the life and all that sort of stuff. That should go without me saying. I understand why you would do that, though. You know what I'm saying? Because you know it's real out here. You know what I'm saying? So, but I know you're not asking me about that. You're asking me more so about an innocent child.
No, that's fine. I don't mind you pivoting.
Okay, cool.
Is there a world in which your son could be a gang member?
No, man. God forbid.
Why not?
Because it's one of the most important things to me for me to be present in my children's lives. 100%. And I feel like that's like I said earlier, I feel like that's one of the biggest things that can prevent that in our children's lives.
And in you being present in your son's life, I'm thinking you don't just mean like co-parenting, or you mean in the same household? What do you mean here?
Yeah, same household. But even if I'm not in the same household,
so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, as long as I'm there, I know what goes on in his life. I talk to him every single day. I'm there. I'm coaching him. I'm building him. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just allowing him to just grow, eat food and just grow. No, I'm molding him.
All right. So the message that we're about to go into isn't just for same household.
No.
units.
Because unfortunately, that's not the reality of half of our people.
Bear in mind, whilst I'm talking to you, I'm also going to be asking for what the best case scenarios
Best
are.
case scenario. Okay, so let me not
What
jump.
we are building to,
Yeah, go
what
on.
we should be building towards, what should be focusing on, right?
course,
Because
yeah.
when you then don't say things like, I think it would be preferred that you look to be in the same household.
Most
You
definitely.
Make sure that you nurture, make proper decisions in who it is that you look to, get
Of course.
in bed with, and this, that, and this,
100%.
because that leads on to this, that, and the next,
Yep.
right? Because the the nuances and dynamics between those two particular people might make it so that you don't have all the access that you would like in your son's life, because you and the mother don't really see eye to eye.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
And that's the
Depending on how it
reality.
is you treat the mother, she might look to withhold certain things from you as it pertains to the custodianship of your son.
100%.
She might look to basically put certain things into his head about you, and vice versa. You might look to put certain things into his head about her,
Yep.
and that could lead to all sorts of confusion, right?
Proxy
So
wars.
bear in mind, as I'm talking to you, I want you to also say the best case scenario. This is what we should be working towards.
100%.
Right?
I've said it many times on the show before, but 100% for this conversation, it's necessary. The best case scenario is most definitely a household where parents are there in the household. 100%. And I think, again, to stress it, I think that's one of the biggest things that's killing the black community. 100%. I know I'm stressing the dad, because typically the dad's not there, innit? When the dad is not there, the household will struggle to function at its optimum. That's just a fact. It's just a fact. It's not me accusing the woman at all, but a woman can't do a man's job, and a man can't do a woman's job. We both need to be there. That's the ideal situation. And when a man's running away from his responsibilities, you have a problem, because there's burdens on the woman, and it's gonna collapse, man. Don't get me wrong, I know there's circumstances. We know this anyway. There's circumstances where those households, kids can come and thrive from those single parent households. But none of you would say that's the ideal. None of you would hope that to be your situation. We thank God that it worked, but it's not a situation that you hope for. You know what I'm saying? So I think, obviously, to get back to what you're saying, but ideal situation, you need both 100%. But in those situations where we don't have both, because unfortunately that's the situation now, 40 or so % of black community households are single parent households. What do we do? That's the reason why I'm talking about that. Because the reality on the ground right now is that this is what the situation is. You know what I'm saying?
And let's kind of focus on the situation now then.
Yeah.
Seen as it's the most common theme,
Yeah.
right? How would you now look to be all across your son's business enough to know what he's doing when he's not on the phone with you or on WhatsApp with you, because you're not in the house.
It starts from early though. It starts from early. I don't like to talk about stuff that we could have done necessarily. I mean, we should 100%, but I say all that just to say it starts from early, because then it's just a normal thing. You're not in the house today, and you stay out of the house for the next 10 years, for example. How do you continue to be in his life? And I think it's just speaking to him at certain times. So again, this is not my situation, so I'm just trying to put myself in that position. I know my child goes to school at this particular time. After school, I'm talking to him.
What do you mean?
I'm calling him.
All right.
Or I'm picking him up. Or,
Okay.
or we're having lunch before I take you back home to your mum. Or you're staying with me. Whatever it may be. I know what you're doing after school. From this time to this time. Have you got extracurricular activity that you're doing? Yes? No? Okay, cool. But I know what's going on. And I can talk to you, you could talk to me. You home now? Cool. How was your day? Da-da-da-da-da. What's the homework you're doing? I have to be. When's parents' evening? I'm there. Cool. You know what I'm saying?
Is it important, very quickly, for him to introduce you to his friends?
Yeah.
Would you not want to see who his friends are?
100%. Especially not friends in a flippant way, but friends who, this guy chats to all the time. He confides in, they confide in. Those real friends, 100%. I would love to know.
How do you facilitate that?
I'll just ask him. Because when you're 14, 15, like on a weekend, you may link up and go somewhere anyway. So you would have told me, I'm going cinema with my boys. Okay, who's your boys? You see what I'm saying?
So you're going to rely on his profile of his friends?
No, I'm saying, who are they? Then I'm saying, okay, cool. I want to see them.
Okay.
So that's what I mean. So, yeah. Because I know his schedule, right? He's going to tell me. Plus, it's not like, hopefully, I still speak to his mum. You know what I'm saying? So at least she can also say to me, yo, he's this particular place is the reason why he didn't pick up, or whatever it may be. Call him back at this time when he finishes in the cinema. Whatever. There's some sort of communication. Because as much as you don't like me and I don't like you, we both still love the boy. You know what I'm saying? And the girl. So let's do what's necessary to facilitate something for the, you know what I'm saying? That's basically my thinking.
Okay. So you've asked him to introduce you to his friends. Can you gauge from his friends what type of friends they are?
I think to some degree, but not always. No, not at all. Because it's we know some characters, like from young. People who are, I don't even know why I'm talking about this, but like people who are, there are people in life who are like 30, 40 years old, right? Confident, gifted the gab. You see those signs when they was young. They'll tell the parent what they need to hear. You know what I'm saying? And unless you're savvy and you're listening to what you're not hearing, right, you may think this is the most wholesome guy in the world or the wholesome woman and the girl in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's an issue. So, but as parents, anyway, we should be wiser than the people who are 20 years younger than us, our children. So from my experience, we're gauging certain things. You're not judging necessarily, but you're gauging. You know what I'm saying? And if it comes to a point where you're like, no, this person's bad for you, then you have to let your child know. This person's good with you, let your child know. Keep this person around you. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. And then you try and, I guess, facilitate situations where they can be with each other outside of school. Because that's how you build them long life friendships, you know what I'm saying, who are positive. Like you guys. You guys were positive for me.
You see, when you say things like that, it leads to what I was saying in the beginning. You came from Pembury Estate, and I understood Pembury Estate to be a certain thing.
We're wholesome guys.
And the newspapers, the Hackney Gazette, also understood Pembury to be a certain thing.
Big up the Hackney Gazette.
Okay. Anywho, what did I ask you before? Whether it is that you could tell your friend's character. You mentioned something that is very important, knowing your son's character. And when I say son, just also throw in daughter there, right? Just children's character. You would need to know your children's character. You would need to know how savvy they are with their wordplay. Whether it is they were getting one up on you with whatever you're saying to them, how is you're politicking with them, you'd be able to see who they are. Now, if you gauged that your son or daughter was well equipped for street life, would you still believe everything that they say when it is that you talk to them about what happens when they're outside?
What do you mean
of
by
the
well
house?
equipped for street life?
Ooh, good question. What did I mean? I mean, like you were when it is that you were younger. You saw what was going on. You identified what was good, what was bad, but you weren't necessarily looking to run full on into just being somebody's lapdog, right? So you knew what was happening in the streets, and you knew how to navigate it well enough. I guess a bit like I would say Nazir, because he was probably into stuff as well. But just they knew all the players.
But why would my child know this if we don't live in a hood though?
No, you see, you're doing that thing where
No,
you're
I'm
just
asking,
focusing on your life.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I want you to do that because
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, things would be different because in this whole questioning, you're not even in this environment anyway.
Yeah.
Right. And is that true that the majority of people who are in gangs are in impoverished areas?
Yeah.
All right. So let's not even talk about the ones who are outside.
But I feel like it spills over a lot because of you now mix with other people from different worlds when you get to school. So I mentioned the thing earlier before about you're now mixed with people from XYZ certain areas, and they're copying. Let me not say copying you. Some are copying you, but it's just a mix of culture. You know what I'm saying? And the predominant culture and style and everything that people kind of find appealing is from the impoverished background one. So that's the one that people kind of adopt far more. You know what I'm saying? But it's not necessarily...
Not in large parts, though. Like what I'm saying is those people in well-to-do areas aren't really being influenced to join gangs in large swathes. It's mostly the impoverished ones. And I just want to focus on the majority aspect of this because talking about the niche is not really helpful.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let me change the question. Let's just say you know that your son is clued up enough to know that anything that he chooses to do is because he wasn't influenced to do it.
Cool.
He wanted to do it for whatever reason.
Cool.
So no grooming label can be attached to him even at the tender age of 14.
Okay, cool.
Did you just
Yes,
Why did you scrimmage?
Because I want to kind of know what you mean by grooming.
Grimace, sorry.
Reason I kind of want to know what you mean by grooming because I feel as though, you have to correct me if I'm wrong, I feel as though people use it in the sense of actively manipulating somebody. But also, some may say, well, there's a blanket grooming here where everyone's kind of under that umbrella of this is what occurs here. So we're just molded and products of our environment. So everyone has been grouped to some degree. See where I'm coming from?
What would you like us to do here? Would you like us to define what grooming is? Or would you like to say, I know what its definition is, but its definition doesn't really work in the scenario in which it is we're talking about because it's not seen like that. What are we doing here? Are we going by the definition or are we basically saying...
No, not necessarily the definition. I think we have to go with the second thing.
So let's not even read the definition. So forget me saying grooming. Did I ask you about grooming?
Yeah. So basically, you're just trying to say, what if this particular child...
Yes, if he knows full well, I am choosing this lifestyle. I want quick money. I want influence and power. I want ranking within my social class.
Yeah.
Right? And I know I can apply myself to my books and whatnot. In fact, I'm even acing that. Don't worry about that. I just want more.
Yeah.
I know what my father has said. I know what I'm seeing in the world. I can see the damage that is being caused by this lifestyle. But I am interested in what's on the other side of this particular conundrum. I want it. So I'm choosing to say to my pops, just hanging around with Kevin.
Do you know what it is? If I go too far, I want you to put me back in, right? But I want to give this example, and I gave this example before, months ago. when we were talking about homelessness on the show, but I'm just trying to use this as an analogy. I remember when I first was in that field, and one of my managers was saying to me, every homeless person, I think I mentioned it on the show, I definitely mentioned this on the show before, every homeless person has some sort of mental health issue. I said, come on now, man. Come on now. Why you just want to give me extra work? You just want me to refer people to these places that you got links to, right? Just say that. How the hell are you going to tell me every single person on the street has got mental health issues? With time, I started to realize there's some truth to what she's saying, in that it may not appear in exactly the same way that we kind of see mental health, or this person's overtly this or that, but some sort of trauma along the way has occurred to lead them to where they are, that you see them on the street, choosing to be there. I gave an example. Remember, for those who don't know, I gave an example of me trying to help somebody to find a place. Sort it out. He didn't have to do a damn thing, but turn up on the Tuesday at 12 p.m., sign the damn paper. Housing benefits going to pay your rent for you. Council tax reduction is going to take care of 85% of your council tax for you. Turn up and take the key. Man, nowhere to be seen. Couple months later, seen him on the street again. Come back in the office. What happened? Long story short, he said, I was overwhelmed. I felt more comfortable at home on the street. That's mental health. I say all of that to say this. If somebody's in those situations in the hood there, and you're actively choosing to say, I know the risk, I know this, but I still want to do that. There's something, I think, that potentially inhibits some part of your decision making to make a good decision. This is why I said earlier about when you're in school and you see somebody looking at people from a certain environment and admiring it and thinking, wow, I want to be part of this. Like, have you really thought about this? Are you really saying that life is just a game? Are you really saying to me you're a smart person? You know the pros and cons of every situation. You've seen 80% con, 20% pro. I still want to go for that. Why? So I get where you're coming from, but something in me has the tendency to really question, is that person really able to make the decisions that you think they're saying they can make?
Do you realize what you've just said?
Yes.
Are you sure? You just said gang members and affiliates constantly make bad decisions. When I say constantly, all the time.
Okay.
Do you stand by that?
I think it's a dynamic thing. I think it's like any other human being. It's like me and you, like anybody else who listens to the show. If I said you guys in the chat all make bad decisions, who's going to say no?
No, don't water it down.
But I'm saying it like that for a reason, because people are trying to make good decisions, or at least trying to find good outcomes. But you make a series of bad ones too, trying to get to that good outcome. That's just life. And sometimes when you're not equipped with certain things, you do that. That's just how it is.
There's one thing saying that they're a victim to their environmental circumstance.
Yeah.
And there's a next thing saying, upon knowing the environment that you're in and choosing to get into this lifestyle, you've made a bad choice.
Yes.
So there is nowhere in your argument, in your mind state, that can entertain anybody saying they had no choice.
Let me paint this question to you. If I said to you, and this is just a simple one.
Is this the answer to my question, though?
Yeah, cool.
All right.
It's all related. If somebody said to you, or you find out they joined the gang, they were active, doing whatever they're doing, you said, why did you choose it? You had both parents in the house, X, Y, Z. He said, well, if I didn't, I felt like I was a sitting duck. People knew where I was from. I went active, though. I was by myself. Till I joined, I was no longer by myself. I felt as though my chances were better in the group as opposed to by myself. I know this decision isn't a great one, but I'd rather my chances over there than here. Is that a good or a bad decision to you?
Well, basically you're saying there was a guy who was involved in something on his own, and now he wants more people to help.
Not
him
involved in it.
achieve
No,
something.
he just lives here. He just lives here. And he's seen as a guy from there. And because of that, he might be victimized, or he has been victimized. So he's judging from experience here. And he could be with some of his other friends, active, or he could be by himself, a sitting duck. If he joins because he feels like his chances are better with his group, right? Knowing the downfalls, knowing the risk, but he still feels as though the risk there is maybe better than me being by myself. I still live here. I still have parents. I can't move out and just rent a place by myself at 16. I still have to come back here. I still have to walk through X, Y, Z area to get home every single day. Is that person making a bad decision or a good one?
According to you, it's a bad decision.
Not according to me, to you. What is the decision that they've made?
I have the belief that there are certain things that people do because they have no other choice in order to feed themselves or their family. I do believe there is...
Or just to stay alive?
Yes, self-preservation. I do believe that there is room for that. I'm not like you. I'm not the person who says that everybody who is involved in this had... you didn't say they were mentally ill, right? I know you give the example of the homeless people, but you're saying they've chosen to do something bad.
No. It was more so you said somebody who's fully there and they've said that's the bad thing.
No, I started with your son, by the way. I want you to get back to that because that's the initial question I asked you.
Cool.
And I said if he knows about the street and whatnot and you know the difference between good and evil and this, that, and the next, you know how it causes chaos in the family and you still look to go.
But do you see
it?
Yeah.
Then you jump to the homeless example to
and
basically
the reason
try
why
to answer the question.
The reason why is because if somebody is at that stage, no, I mean I'm not a perfect person. I'm not whatever.
I still want you to answer my question, bro.
No, I'm coming. I'll answer it right now. I'm not, I don't know every damn thing in the world. But if I'm raising my child in the present day in my son's life, and he knows who he is as a black man, and he has me as a dad, and he understands what's going on in this world, you are not looking at the world and saying, that evil thing, I'm choosing that. If you do, then I have to question your mental state. You get what I'm saying?
Thank you again. Again, do you realize you've just painted this lifestyle as evil, right?
Unproductive.
So this is where you stand, right? The music, the drugs,
of course,
the sexual promiscuity.
One of the worst. Yes.
The misogynoir.
Yes.
Can I get thrown in there?
Of course.
Because it's all melded and mushed up in there, right?
The ailments of society.
In the black community, though.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Of course. We're talking about us here. Yeah,
Yes. All of it is evil.
Yes, and unproductive.
Okay.
What has it got in us?
Okay. I look. You're now.
It's unproductive.
Yeah. You're good. I now know where it is that you stand with this.
Of course.
So
why
every
do you
single
doubt it?
So
Anyway,
every
go on.
single time we speak about certain things that come up in the news, for example, this stabbing, where you've seen this particular boy living this particular lifestyle, right? Sometimes, dependent or not dependent on who also is in the room, it might sound as though there are justifications given to a particular lifestyle. I now hear you saying there should be none. Whereas I, on my stance, I'm saying, hey, sometimes, depending on the case, I don't think they had any other option. No other option in my head was presented to them that seemed viable. So they took that.
And would you say
but you are saying everything is evil. Everything's unproductive.
I'm pretty sure you know that's not what I'm saying.
No, please don't. If I'm mistaken.
Yeah, let me correct you.
Because I've been stressing, please be clear.
Okay, let me correct you.
I don't want you to think I could read your mind.
Cool.
I'm
let
going
me
by everything that you say with your lips.
I'll tell you.
All right.
It's all unproductive activity. Drugs, sexual promiscuity, killings, stabbings, all of this stuff is nonsense. Nobody in their right mind would want that for themselves or their children. Unproductive by definition. I'm also saying, though, that some of these things, if not all, are there to keep us in a particular place, and some of us are unable to see that. Some of us have contributed to that. Some of us make it hard on ourselves to prevent these things in our communities. And because you are now there, you have to now choose the best situation for yourself in and amongst the bad choices to survive. That's why I gave the example of the person who's minding his business. Good student, minding his business, but he's just from a particular area. and then somebody says, oh, he's a bad guy, he's a gang member, he's a this. Not understanding that his parents both work 2 jobs. And so between the time of after school and 8 o'clock, he's by himself. So he's outside. Or he's not by himself. He's minding his business, doing his homework at home, watching TV after he's done his homework. But on his way home from school, he is now attacked or he's harassed simply because he lives in a particular area. If that person says to himself, you know what, I'm going to join this particular gang, be a part of something in my particular estate with these guys here, who are also my friends, who are we to now say that's a bad decision? Because long term, it may be a good decision if it saved his life. If there's life, there's hope. So if he's assessing his options, on the outside, you may say, oh, no, he's just making a bad decision. He's a bad da-da-da. No, there's nuance, man. I don't think people from the hood are bad people. I don't. I think we just dealt bad cards, bad circumstances. And some people worse than others. That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? But the activity is all unproductive. It doesn't make it good. Like, good people do bad things. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is still bad. You get what I mean?
I don't know. You just said just now that you don't think people from the hood are bad people.
No.
I took that to mean that anybody could be bad with whatever environment they're in, and anybody could be good with environment they're in.
Yeah.
But what we're specifically talking about is a type of person who is involved in what you would call unproductive and evil lifestyle. So when you said, I don't think people from the hood are bad, I'm then attributing it to those people who are committing actions within this lifestyle.
And
is that correct?
Yes, but I'm also trying to say to you that I don't think the person is just bad. That person, you're looking at them between this time and this time, seeing them actively doing this. You're not considering necessarily what got them in and what they're prepared to do to get out. You're just looking here.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing?
Yeah.
How?
By just saying this person is bad or saying that I'm saying that. This is the reason why I'm saying just because of the activity doesn't necessarily make them a bad person.
Be very, very
I
careful.
think you can change.
The reason as to why it is, I wanted you to basically state your claim before I went on to further questioning was because of what you're now doing. You're now trying to tell me that I'm saying something I'm not, right? I thought you had originally said that unproductive lifestyle is evil.
It's an unproductive thing, 100%.
You had said evil first, and then you said it's unproductive. When I said evil,
cool.
you said unproductive.
Yeah.
Right? So in my mind, you are saying it's bad. You are saying the activities,
of course, yes,
it's
I'm
bad.
Clearly saying that, yes.
And the perpetrating of it is bad.
Yes.
And the glorification, the glamorization is bad.
Bad and unproductive for our communities, destroying our communities, yes.
Yeah. So
I'm not saying, though, the people doing it are necessarily just bad. That's the difference.
How productive is what you're saying now to the conversation? You saying that not everybody is all bad. Because that's essentially what you're saying.
Yeah, because I'm saying that if you just look at the situation and say this is unproductive, and now you paint people with a particular brush and say because you're doing unproductive things, you're an unproductive person and you're an evil person or whatever it may be, that it seems that you're saying I'm saying.
I only want to talk about the people who are doing these things willfully and turning around and recruiting younger people to do it willfully.
But Brent, this is what I'm trying to... And I hope I'm making this clear, right? Or at least let me try and make it clear now. I'm not justifying anything that I would deem as unproductive and evil or bad and destructive to our community in any way, shape, or form. But I am saying that the people that you're saying who are doing these activities, I'm also saying in the sense a lot of these people are victims of the same thing. That's what I'm saying to you.
What's the same thing?
Like, this didn't start today or yesterday. So they were once kids. They were once people who not all of them, of course, but I'm trying to generalize here, who didn't feel like they had options. You know what I'm saying? Who are making decisions, you know what I'm saying, on a day-to-day, okay, this is the case, You know what I'm saying? And are not taught particular things. Don't have a dad in the house. Don't know what it's like to be a man. Don't know how to take on responsibility. Don't understand about sacrificing gratification of today for a long-term gain. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are all the things that go into it, you know? And if you fail to mention those things, that we're going to get like inaccurate
amazing
results.
You're now telling me that I should now speak in nuance, right? Because all these particular things feed into it.
But
I told you at the beginning of this conversation, I'm aware of the nuance. I
cool.
also told you that I am of the belief that there are certain circumstances where they have no other option presented to them but to do this, right?
Okay.
And I only presented that particular take when you said everything over there is evil and you have decided to basically go down there. You've even compared a homeless person with mental...
Wait. I said that everything over there is bad, evil, unproductive, and somebody has just decided to go down there. That's what I said.
This is
This is what you're trying to paint.
This is so funny. And I don't know how it happens, by the way. I don't know how it happens. I really don't know how the
Someone call up
goalposts
so that we
continue
can
to
talk.
be moved. But I focused on answer my question specifically. I am very specific when I ask you questions. And I asked you about your son, who is well aware of what is happening.
And I'm trying to tell you, Brent, I don't think that's possible. Me.
Don't let me finish what I'm saying before you jump in and look to take it somewhere else.
Right,
yeah.
cool. We got someone in Discord.
Ed says we'll pull up in 20 if the convo is still going after my meeting. Cool. I was saying your son fully well knows the machinations of how it all works outside. He knows between good and evil, blah, 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 blah. And he still chooses to basically go down that particular avenue. Then you gave me the example of the homeless person with the mental illness. Why did you do that?
Because I'm saying if somebody can do that, I feel like we have to look at their ability to make good decisions. So it may look like they're fully in the right capacity in the mind to make this decision that you're trying to paint for me, that they've seen bad things, unproductive things, and choosing to go for it willfully.
So in a sense, what are you saying? Are you saying that he has something wrong with his head?
Yes. I would.
Let's stay there for a little while, because I like this more than what's this happened just now.
Cool.
So you're now saying if he would still choose the lifestyle that's unproductive, he has something wrong with his head.
If he chooses, let me say, and you can disagree or correct me. If he chooses to go and be unproductive, and he has me as a dad, and I've taught him over the years, I'm present, I'm teaching him over the years. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're in a hood environment, though, right? In your scenario,
in the impoverished area, in which is that this particular activity seen by your son. Cool. Yeah.
So, but I'm present. I'm there. I'm a dad. I'm doing everything I need to be doing. I'm raising him up to be X, Y, and Z in the world, right? And I see that he can make good decisions. Like I'm confident in who my child is, and then they look around and say, all of these things over there, the gang activity, the drugs, the this, the da. I know what it is. It's unproductive. It's bad. It's not good for me or the community, but I'm going to do it anyway. I struggle to think the brain is functioning correctly, bro. That's what I'm saying.
But I think I understood what you said, and I just wanted you to say yes, he has something wrong with his mind. Okay. Now, what do you mean he has something wrong with his mind, though? As in, does he need help now? As in, professional help? Because when you say he's now mentally unwell, what do you then do to address that?
I honestly don't know, because I don't know if these things occur like this. Because obviously I'm answering the question knowing that these are just hypotheticals, isn't it? So I'm trying to entertain the conversation like that.
So you're saying that you don't think that a child could be in a household where you're the father and the mother's also present and go into that lifestyle?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I think, yeah.
Oh.
Because of how...
So somebody said earlier in the group, I think it was TC.
Cool.
There are people who are in fantastic households where both parents are present and still end up there, right?
100%.
And that's...
But this is why I then added some of the other things to it, which is that, for example, you may have parents who are working 2 jobs each. So there's overlaps. There's certain things where, okay, there's time where you're outside longer than you should be. You're exposed to this and exposed to that. the reason why I put myself there is because I understand that, and I would make sure those openings are not there. This is what I'm trying to say. Even though I'm human, this is why I also said I'm not perfect. I know I can get things wrong, but as much as this is important to me, I would make sure those doors, those leaks are closed off, because I can't afford to have my child out there doing unproductive things like that can cost his life. I can't do it. And I think a big part of that is down to me as a dad, as a father in my household.
All right, let's move on a little bit, right? As it pertains to the music he listens to, do you think it would have an impact on his life, on his decisions, on what he looks to think is not unproductive?
Yeah.
Because in his mind, he's not thinking it's unproductive. Or he may think it's unproductive, but the negative impact of it is not ringing home to him as it would ring home to you. Because when you say unproductive, you're saying, do not be going there because there's nothing good for you there.
Yeah.
Music. Would you look to police the type of music he listens to?
Yeah, if I can. Yeah, I'll try to do my best to, yeah.
What does that look like?
So I'm like, certain things is just pure negativity.
Talk to me.
Oh, okay, so on both sides. So let's just say it's my daughter. She's listening to, I'll be honest with you, I don't know the name of these female artists in it, but the stuff they talk about.
Stay with the son and then give
No,
it
both. I want to give you both.
you're going to... All right, let you finish.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be...
Go on. For your daughter, go on. Once she stop listening.
You know what I mean? All the... What's that song with it Cardi B and the other one, the one that got shot? No disrespect. Them vulgar songs there. Them vulgar songs, yeah? Talking about what they did. The woman who's talking about what she did in the back of the bus. All these type of vulgar things that's unproductive that my daughter is not having no parts of ever in life. I'll police that to the core, right? My son also.
Before you move on to the son, I just want to know why you went to the daughter. In her listening to that music, what would it lead her to do?
To be desensitized to this.
To what?
To the horrible things that she's hearing.
Like
that
what?
People are doing these things.
What things are you talking about?
What they did in the back of the bus. I don't want to talk about these things.
I don't even know what bus you're talking about.
The pegger. Is that trigger? No, I don't know if it is. You know the one that was talking about... You lot listen to these songs, man. You lot know.
I don't.
I was joking, guys.
What I was thinking that where you were going was this music is sexually depraved.
Yes.
And in listening to it, she might become sexually depraved.
Yeah, you might want to explore certain things. You might think it's okay. You might think this is just the norm. It's about normalizing behavior. So if you think this is what women do, if you think, oh, this is just part and parcel of life. This is what we do when we get to a certain age. We explore. This is cool. I did this with my boyfriend. And no, not for my daughter.
All right.
My son also. So I don't want him to also think, okay, this is just normal behavior. Oh,
what type of music? Because you were specific with the girls.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So anything that's negative in a sense of talking about maybe calling black people N-words, like it's ridiculous. Talking about killing black people. Talking about all that sort of stuff that I spoke about in terms of activity being negative. If I feel as though, and it is hard, right? But if I feel as though it's more so just degeneracy over the art form, then that's the issue. But if I feel like there's art there, then I can allow certain things.
Explain how you now go and do that.
Just
because what you just said is...
Okay, I'll give you an example. So look at Nas, Illmatic. That's art. But he's documenting something. That's just the reality of life. You know what I'm saying? But then you got other people who are actively talking about, I'm going to do this to my ops, and he's a this, and his mum is this, and that's not
just so I'm clear. You would allow him to listen to Nas, but not who? Give me an example. Because you mentioned Nas as good.
Yeah, because I listen to him. You know what I'm saying?
That's nice.
It's hard to mention people I don't listen to. But you get what I'm trying to say, though, innit?
No, I don't do that.
Okay,
I don't.
Cool. Let me give an example. I just don't know the names like this because I don't listen to them. But the people are talking about, killing this. I'm gonna do this to your ops and to my ops, and I'm trying to think of a lot of these Chicago rappers, innit, who just go extreme.
So you're fine with the drill here, but not the drill in Chicago.
No, certain drill here would be bad as well. But again, you're asking me to generalize, and I don't know the artists like that.
I'm always asking you to generalize. No. You were specific when Brent, you said Nas.
No, but listen to me. The reason why I'm talking like this because I fully don't know the names of the artists. Otherwise,
right.
I would give you the names.
All
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
So anything that involves the glorification of killing and
Yeah, and
drug use
and niggerdom. And calling people just niggas and making us see ourselves as
all right.
not valuable.
Now, you mentioned Nas.
Cool.
Does he use the word N
Yeah.
all the time?
Not all the time, but yeah, he does.
When I say all the time, on literally every track.
I don't want to be pedantic in it.
100%, nearly all the track he's using it.
All right, cool.
And if it is that he misses one, he mixes up another one. But you said that you would allow your son to listen to that music.
Yeah.
Because you deem it something that wouldn't affect his glorification or romanticized nature of this lifestyle.
I don't think so.
Because it didn't happen to you.
Yeah, because because more so, I think it's more so people documenting stuff. Can you sometimes take on the role of the killer for art purposes and do certain things in tracks? Yes, you can. But more time, you kind of know where artist stands. Like nobody's gonna necessarily say Kendrick is a negative artist. Man says niggas all over the N-words all over the place too. He swears too. He talks about girls too, in a particular way too. But overall, you look at the man and say, cool, you know this man is productive and he wants to do certain things for the upliftment of black people. That's how I see Nas. You know what I'm saying? And you can kind of gauge that. Nobody's perfect. I want to keep stressing that. You can never find a perfect role model or perfect this or perfect situation. It's dynamic. Everything changes, man. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm seeing somebody like Nas, like, to me, that's a productive thing. Like when I first heard Illmatic, it changed my, you know what I'm saying? Blew my mind. You know what I'm saying? Because he's talking about real stuff, man. He ain't glorifying, he's just talking about what he sees. That's all.
Cool. Let's see if this person wants to talk. Invite to speak. So I do believe that the whole policing of music, there's no given that if you do it, they're not gonna still get involved in that particular lifestyle.
100%.
And even if it is, they do listen to it. Some of them just listen to R&B, and they're fully gambling books. so I'm aware that. Good morning, SK.
One said Nas made Uchuali.
I can't hear you, SK. Let me see if it is it's on my end. I'm going to take off Discord and come back in, and then load you back up.
I'm laughing at what.
Read some comments. Whilst it is that there's empty space.
Star Crow said Rondo number 9 with it. Yo, Rondo number 9 was a terrorist, man. Like that guy was, yeah, he's a serious guy though. King Von was a storyteller though. He low key had a couple conscious songs. No disrespect, big up King Von, man. R.I.P. But you know what the thing is, yeah. 100%, like, everyone's gonna have different subject matter, innit? You can't just have a whole album, mixtape is just pure, like, crud. But, I don't know, you just kind of get the vibe that certain people kind of talking about certain things and less so glorifying it. They might glorify it every now and again because that's just bravado and how you are as a human being. You might talk about some negative stuff, man, every now and again. You are a human being. Like, we can't hold certain people to certain standards that you wouldn't necessarily hold for yourself. But I feel like you kind of gauge who kind of want to uplift people, or at least a kind of neutral, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically how I see Nas, innit? Let me see who else has said.
All right, I've invited you back up, SK. Can you speak?
Oh, hey.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Good.
Hello?
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, no, everything's good. I just wanted to jump in the topic. Obviously, usually I'm just on the live chat.
Lovely.
But with this one, it's a bit close to home, do you know what I mean? Because it's kind of like touching on my childhood, do you know what I mean? So, for example, with me, when we was 14, 15, a friend of mine passed away. And that's why I was saying in the comments, sometimes it's about not making those excuses. It's just about getting on with it, not playing the victim card and just getting on with it. When my friend died, do you know what my mum done? Went to the council, we moved.
Yeah.
It's not about just saying youth clubs or, you know, blaming this and that. It's more about taking accountability as a community and getting on with it. Let's change the culture.
Yeah.
If your child is involved in nonsense, move them out the hood, be active in your child's life. End of story.
But obviously I'm pretty sure you would appreciate, that it's not always as simple as just move them out the hood. Because especially if the council's involved and you're living in the hood, they might move you to another hood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true. No,
So
100%. A lot of people are, like, for example, I'm from Croydon. A lot of people are being moved from Peckham, Brixton to Croydon, but Croydon's already a funny area. Do you know what I mean? So
exactly.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but that's where you have to be attentive enough to where you actually like put your foot down.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's like this. For example, some people, they don't want to leave the hood because they're comfortable there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're around their own people, their own shops, whatever. You don't really want to go to these other areas, but you have to choose between your comforts and your child's life. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense?
100%. 100%. But at the same time is what, and this is the reason why I was kind of stressing the economic status of the family, because you might be living in the hood now, but remember the rents is subsidized. The council can help with certain things. But if you go move private to try and help out your child, you could be paying 3 times the amount. Do you have the time? Do you have, you know what I'm saying? Like to find more work to then be able to pay that? And if you're out there working, doing a good thing for your family so they can live outside the hood, who's managing your children?
Yeah, then your child's idle. That's what happened with me.
Precisely.
So, for example, I'm from Zim. So I came to this country when I was 10. My mom's doing night shifts, 7 to 7.
Exactly.
So essentially, after school, she tells me, be home by 5. Exactly. If I come by 5, she's leaving 5:30, I'm back outside. Do you know what I mean? That's how I got caught up in certain things. But the problem there, like I'm trying to say, is that end of the day, you should move someone to a better area, because once I moved out to a better area, even if I wanted to see my friends in the old area, it was like 2 hours to get there.
Long. Yeah.
I'm not getting there. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you do have to make that sacrifices. If it means no disposable income at the end of the month, but you can at least have that peace of mind to say, you know what, I'm in a better area, my child's fine, then do that.
Yeah.
If it means, you know what, let me put my child in, for example, things like football or other things where they have male role models, then do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. I agree with you. I don't think this whole making excuses and then people saying, oh, where's the dad and this, like, cool, where is the dad? But I think we need to kind of, like, for me personally, I just feel like we're going to be another generation of black people where we've done nothing, if that makes sense. So where we're just another generation, more misery, we made no progress. Matter of fact, we're going backwards. So for me, when I'm saying these things, to just say, look, let's just get on with it. Let's fix the problems and let's get over this hurdle. This is where I'm coming from. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I definitely get what you're saying, but at the same time, I don't know. Your mum was very active, innit? Right, in making sure that you guys move to a different area. But like you acknowledge, sometimes you can end up in another area that's just as bad. Or, like I said, you just end up in a place where it's far more expensive. Then obviously your parents are not there. They have to pay the rent or whatever it may be. You become idle, like you said. There's so many different things that come along. And also the whole thing about the dad not being present, I don't think it's necessarily an excuse. I think it's the reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, not having fathers in the home has a dramatic effect on the life of the boy and the girl.
Right.
100%. You know what I'm saying? And after that, I just feel as though everything is just a case of just managing.
But
and
can I give you an example? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, my partner's from North London, like Tottenham here, and I've got friends over there as well. Like from Croydon, there's a lot of Ghanaians over here. So naturally, there's Ghanaians in Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? When Heady One put out that song, sorry to throw him under the bus, no better. That changed the climate of that area.
Yeah.
So many people have died behind that, and the point I'm trying to go from here is culture and influence. I know I'm changing the topic here, but I think personally for me, let's change the culture. If there's any problems with children, just move them out, and just be active in your children's lives. Do you know what I mean? Like, end of the day, I think the main problem here is culture. Like, for me personally, I've got a brand that I do, and one thing that I've learned from doing this is that most people are sheep. They don't have their own mind. They can't think for themselves. What they're influenced is what they're going to follow. For example, when you and Brent were going back and forth earlier, it's you got to think, if you've got a child that's 15, they're seeing music videos, they're seeing flashy lifestyle, they're seeing films, they're going on Snapchat, seeing people putting on watches and cars and thinking what glitters is gold. They're being influenced to want to join this life. But me, as someone that's lived it, 29 years old, I know that this is all a facade. This is all a lie, but that's because I've been there.
Yep.
So I know these guys, when they're showing you this money, bro, what they see, and even nowadays, what they see is not even what they have. The car could be a rental, the watch could be fake, or it could be their brethren's. Do you know what I mean? But these young kids, they're seeing that and they're being influenced by that, which is why they want to join this lifestyle, which is why I'm saying change the culture. Even, for example, I'm not going to say his name, but the biggest rapper from Croydon, for example, when he speaks to me, he's like, bro, document your life about what you're doing in terms of the brand and everything. So that these kids can see another way. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Because all they're seeing is literally drillers, trap rappers. Even when you're speaking earlier about the girl, the C China girl, a lot of people will take that as a joke. Oh, I'm pegging a guy at the back of the bus.
Yeah.
But you got to think, like, for example, I'll give you an example. If a girl right now is 15 years old and every day she's being drummed with this message of negativity, we hate black men, when she's 25 and she now wakes up and you ask her, let's say even if she's a virgin, she's never been with a guy, and you ask her, what do you think of men? And she says, men are trash. Where do you think that's come from?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Where do you think that's come from? So that's why I'm saying the biggest problem in our community, myself, because I came from Zimbabwe, bro. This is not our culture in Zimbabwe. But yet, by the age of 13, police are coming to the house. I'm being arrested. I'm walking around with a knife. I'm selling drugs. How? How? Yeah. It's the culture. It's the influences, like I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to change that. And then in terms of other things, like, for example, with the boy that got stabbed, God bless him. But with a situation like that, I think maybe, do you know what is? I feel so sorry for the lady, because I think she didn't have the information. Because if he was involved in this and that, she could have really just gone to the council and been like, look, this is what my son's involved in. Put her foot down. Look, if it means moving him to Kingston to where he can't get back to Woolwich, do that. Do you know what I mean? I know that's a short-term solution, but let's just do that in the moment to save his life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's all I really have to say, man.
Let me ask you this, though, yeah? How do we go about changing the culture? So, granted, like you said, one example is showing the other side. So someone like yourself who's productive and you're documenting the things that you're doing, right? So there's more positive imagery and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What are some other things that you'd say is effective?
To change the culture?
Yeah.
I'll say, do you know what? I feel like, for example, right now, this is where sometimes I say people create their own problems. Because nowadays, you can go on TikTok and you can see a young black business owner doing something. You can go on YouTube and watch someone that's just living a normal life. People are now showing more of normality, if that makes sense. So I think it's more that we need more of normal people just documenting their life. If you're a plumber, black plumber, just show your life. Do you know what I mean? Just showcase your life. If you're an electrician, just showcase your life. If you're even you guys in what you do, just showcase your life. I think we need to kind of drown out and dilute the nonsense by showing more of other options. Because I feel like for me growing up, all I thought was football, rap. I'm definitely not getting a job. I'm not gonna lie to you. But now as I get older, I'm seeing, wait, there's actually more money in the legit world than that world.
Yep.
But growing up, we didn't know that. So I think it's representation and just more people just showing more of that, and us as a community shunning the nonsense. Yeah. Like, for example, I even put up a comment yesterday on one of the blog pages when they posted about the boy that died, to say, look, you guys are saying it's sad, but let his ops put out a song saying we turned him back, blah blah blah. You guys are gonna be bumping it.
Yeah.
You're gonna be bumping it, and you're gonna get him 1 million views. He's gonna get a record label, which is gonna influence other youths from other areas to do the same thing. Whereas if he's opts to come out and say we turned him back, and we as a community say we are not messing with these people, 100%, let's ban the music. Like, and then, because end of the day, what's going to happen in this community is going to happen anyway. But let's not glorify it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Let's just kill the noise.
But then, what do you say to somebody that says, "Okay, cool, let's ban the music," But like for a lot of these people, it's a creative outlet, right?
No. This is the biggest because obviously like, this is the biggest lie. And obviously, you got see. This is where I start to get deep. A lot of these rappers, when you speak on these topics, they'll say to you, "No, it's for the bro." They're thinking about themselves, man.
100%.
They're thinking about themselves.
100%.
Like a lot of these drill rappers, they're thinking about themselves. They just want to make money. They don't care what happens to the community. They don't care. Like for example, I'll give you an example, about why influences is so important. And I think I put this in the comments before. In 2003, which was the bloodiest year since 2000, that's the year that there was the most black on black murders. And you look and you say, what was going on in 2003? But when you go back there, 50 Cent was coming up. The Locks is coming up. Who else was there? Dipset. So if all you're listening to is kill, and you wonder why people are killing, with these guys to say, "Oh, it's a creative outlet." No, it's not, bro. You're destroying the community. It's like when drug dealers say, "Oh, but they're gonna buy it anyway." It's like, bro, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Just like stop doing the devil's work, bro.
Okay, like I definitely hear what you're saying, but okay, so somebody's again, obviously, it would be kind of seen as selfish, but if they're in the studio and they're recording, because you and I both know, a lot of these guys who are making this music are not active like that, innit? Right? Some of them, a lot of them are not.
Rest in peace. I'm not gonna say his name. I'm just gonna call him T.
Yeah.
We grew up together. He made drill music.
Yeah.
Right? Do you know what happened to him? They shot him dead outside my house. He's gone.
Yeah.
Right? People from Croydon, when I say T, even when I'm saying they shot him dead, you know kind of who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying this to say, like, there's no positives that come from this. And even the ones that are not living that life, that even makes it worse. Do you know what I mean?
So you're flat out basically saying that type of music, be done with it.
It needs to go, bro. It needs to go, bro.
Okay.
It needs to go. Just that, even like, for example, something like Top Boy, I can kind of let run because I love the fact that when you watch the end of it, there's no positives. We've seen Sully and Deshane make millions and whatever, lose it all. So something like that can run because they're showing you the full. But when you've got artists like I don't want to say names, but when you've got artists that are just showing you, oh, they're making this thing look glamorous, I'm making all this money, blah blah blah. Like, come on, just stop lying, stop lying, because now you've got me. I can watch that and just read between the lines to be like, bro, I've been outside, I've been in the streets. You're not making money like this. There's gonna be ups and downs. There's gonna be L's. Like, what? Like, do you know what I mean? You're selling a dream here, but when a young kid is watching that, they're thinking, "Oh, that glitters is gold." So, personally, for me, I'm just saying, let's just kill the noise completely.
So what would you say to somebody who's saying, "Okay, cool, I'm an artist, I'm like creative and all that sort of stuff. This is the only sort of music I know how to make, though, and I want to stay off the streets."
Bro,
like,
better
literally,
start singing, man. You better start singing, man.
So basically,
you gotta start singing. Do something else, man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, do something else.
I hear you, man.
Yeah, because there's no excuse, bro. I just feel like and this is why I'm gonna keep drumming the same message. As black people in this country, we're not in Mexico, we're not in South Africa, where there's silly murder rates and this, that, and the third.
Yeah,
we don't need to be living like this. Plain and simple. We're creating our own problems. We are our own worst enemy at this stage. Yeah, you can say why people done this and they done that to put us in this position, but an argument can be made that in today we are now the reason why things are now bad. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Amazing contribution, SK. Thank you very much for jumping on. Question: you said you were from Zim and you came to this country and you happened to fall into this particular lifestyle. Were both parents, if you don't mind, were both parents in your life?
Nah, just my mom.
Okay. Do you think that helped inform the decisions that you made when you were outside of her purview?
Bro, let me tell you about the type of person my mom is. When my mom first came to this country, she didn't come here as an asylum seeker or come here, to do like care homes or stuff. She was successful back home, so she actually got visa-free investment. This is what makes my situation funny, is that I actually came from funds. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But unfortunately for my mum, she did not know that when she's moving to Thornton Heath in Croydon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
She doesn't know that, because remember, she's coming from Zimbabwe. In her mind, I'm going to England.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't actually know that this is not the area you want to be in. Because if she did, she would have moved.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
So I think it's just more whether my dad was there, I don't think it makes much of an impact, to be fair. I think it's more the environment. Like, for example, a lot of people I know have come from both parent homes, and they're the biggest gang members I know. Do you know what I mean?
But
so
a lot of the time,
I don't think that makes a difference. I don't personally. I think it's the environment.
100% it's an environment, yeah. But at the same time, I think having both parents there, but they're not fully present though. You know what I'm saying? I think makes a big difference.
Yeah, of course, because obviously, like for example, my mum, when she first came here, we had money, but then around that time, a lot of things happened to where after a few years, she did have to get a job and start working and start relying on the system, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So she was, exactly, like I said earlier, she was gone from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So I knew, boy, just come in by 5, wait until mum leaves, then go back outside.
Exactly.
But so I do hear what you're saying in terms of that. But guess what? If I was living in a nice area like I was later on in my life, if I come outside, for anyone that's from Croydon, my mum moved us to Kenley. Like, anyone that knows that area is middle class white. Do you know what I mean? So if I come outside in that area, what am I really doing? There's no bad influences. But if I come outside in Thornton Heath, if I come outside in Peckham or Brixton or one of these areas, we all know what's outside.
100%.
So again, it does come back to, even if your parents are not there, it's the environment and it's the culture.
It's definitely, I fully agree with you. But I think for me, I just feel as though a dad in the house helps shape things and provide context. And plus just, decrease the burden. So for example, like you said, your mom are having to work from 7 till 7. When she's gone, no one's at home. But if your dad was there now, there's enough, you know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, but
outside. You know what I mean?
I feel like when you start now saying where's the dad, that's now another topic where we're now getting into why are relationships not working, why are people not getting, why are people not married, why are things not working? Do you know what I mean? Because 100% the dad should be in the house. Yeah. Because for example, with me, I'll give you a good example. When I first came to this country and I'm getting naughty, my mom can beat me. But once, because like for example, right now I'm 6'4". So by the time I was 16, funny enough. By the time I was 16, I was, because I was quite fat as well. I was 18 stone, 6'3" at 16 years old. My mom is 5'2", bro. She's not doing nothing.
Exactly.
Like she can hit. I used to laugh when she hits me.
Yeah. See.
Like so I do understand. If my dad was there, he could have then taken over the discipline and making sure I'm patterned. So I get what you're saying, but then that's another topic about, okay, why is the dad not in the house then? Yeah,
100%. It is 100%. But it's just me basically saying I think these are the biggest factors, because even the environment could be what it is. If you do have a dad in the house, it could definitely change that. It's not the be all and end all, but it definitely can change that. You know what I'm saying? And it just also helps with just the other things in life that affect us negatively. Not just like gang violence, just other things. Just knowing how to navigate life. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. But I definitely hear what you're saying, because at the end of the day...
You know what I would say? Do you know what I would say personally? I think if the dad's not in the house, that's where like send your child to football. Yeah. Like this is where some of these church... Obviously, I don't go to church, but this is where like we now as a community... I feel like some of us need to step up and fill that void, if that makes sense. These boys need someone to be a role model. Like, for example, I'm not proud of it. When I was doing certain things, I had younger, whatever it is, and it's like, for me, I start to see like I'm filling that void, because some of these guys, you don't have a dad, you don't have brothers. Like, for example, with me, outside of my mom, I don't have no family here. Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't have no one. So I think it's more where we need more things like football and other things where people are coming in to fill that void in terms of role models if the dad's not there. And if the dad is there, we need to hold him accountable, bro. Go and take care of your kids, bro.
100%. Is what I'm talking about. I agree with you.
Like, go and take care of your kids.
I agree with you, man.
So your solution is if parents or the parent
My solution is the culture.
When you say the culture,
change the culture.
When you say
bro.
the culture and change the culture, I think Emmanuel had asked, how do you change the culture? right? Because if
like
you're seeing,
like I said, the music, because Brent, let me put you in the mindset of, let's say, me when I was 18. I'm not working. I don't go to school. I'm outside. You know what? I can say it now because I've changed my life. I'm selling drugs,
come
right?
on,
It's not like,
come on, you know.
but that's my life at 18, right?
Mm.
What am I listening to at the time? I'm waking up. I'm listening to Blade Brown because he's rapping my life. I'm listening. Obviously, we grew up in the drill era when Chief Keef that, and also the UK drill. That's our era.
Mm.
So you're listening to this music about dip this, shoot this, and also at the same time, these things are happening. These things are happening. Like so. For example, when I'm saying change the music, change the culture, imagine if at that age, at 18, I'm waking up and I'm listening to, I don't know, a Dean Forbes talking about business, talking about, hey, I was 18, I went and got a job.
Yeah.
And now I'm here. Or if I'm 18 and I'm listening to, let's say, for example, who else can I use as an example? Just even a normal person that says, you know what, I went to uni, I went to college, I started off here and now I'm here. I'm making 6 figures. Or imagine if I'm waking up and even if I'm just listening to a little R&B and instead of doing badness, I want to lick my girl. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's just like a lot of people in this world, do not have their own mind. We're constantly being influenced every single day. Everything you're looking at is influence. So when I'm saying change the culture, I'm literally saying change the influences to where when these young boys wake up, show them positivity and positivity only.
Yeah.
Instead of all this other crap. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you very much for your contribution, SK. You should call up
Yeah,
more.
it's cool.
Fantastic. Good morning, Ed. Good morning, Sally.
Good morning.
What are you saying, Sally?
Good morning. How is everyone today?
Blessed and highly favored. Before you chime in, Sally, can we just hear from Ed first, please?
Of course.
Thank you. Because he was in the streets. I don't think you were.
Morning, guys, man. You all said.
Yes,
Morning,
Ed. What are you saying, man?
Yeah, everything blessed, man. Everything blessed.
Talk to us.
What's it called? I was out for like 20 minutes, so I missed some of the talk.
That's all right.
But in terms of like the music side, from what is it, SK was saying?
Yes.
And just entertainment as a whole, like I feel like that's obviously, yeah, it does play a part, but I can never fully put that as like, you know, like the lead of the issue. You know what I mean? Like that's you know, how do I put it? Like for those who are in and around it every day when you go outside your house, like that's always going to be the biggest influence. Like what I'm seeing when I'm outside is always going to be the biggest influence. Like who I'm around outside is going to be the biggest influence. Like that's always going to be the number one thing. Like, of course, yeah. To be honest, I look at more the entertainment side of it. I look at it more as like that's what gets these kids living out in Hertfordshire who start moving into that sort of stuff, because they've never seen that before. Like they've only heard stories, and then now all of a sudden they see it. It's like it looks so cool, and it's so, you know, etc. So it's so exciting to them, that this foreign concept of like hood life, and now they're like, oh yeah, raw, like, let me get involved in that. Like that, to me, I feel like it works more on them out there than it works on people actually in it, like in and around it every day. Like, and what's it called? Going back to one of Amanda's earlier points in terms of like sort of the mentality behind things, yeah, and like how sort of maybe, you know, kids, you know, why kids would like ignore the logic instead of, you know, actually, you know, thinking straight in terms of making these stupid decisions and that.
Yeah,
it's like you gotta partly think. I think in terms of just think in terms of trauma. Yeah, like trauma itself is like, you know, a level of, you know, mental health issue.
Yep. 100%.
And you sit there and go, yeah, like that poverty, like extreme poverty is a trauma. Like obviously, you know, having parents, even if they're together, if that home is a toxic home, that's obviously a form of trauma. Even, you know, my man SK saying obviously he was, you know, that he was just him by himself. That sort of, I assume, that isolation, that loneliness, that can be a source of trauma as well. And when you're a child, like, there's grown men who can't process that level of trauma. Like,
100%.
so let alone little pickney who, you know what I mean, out here, you know what I mean, that can't process that.
Yeah.
And it just becomes a thing of they're obviously vulnerable and open to the idea of just having something or someone or things that just sort of fill the voids that are, you know, these things that they can't process. And you know what I mean? I don't think that's an issue of like, that's not saying that, you know, they're how do I put it? I don't think that's an issue in terms of them like, it's not an issue to have the trauma. I think the problem is there's no one there, there's nothing there to help them deal with these issues. So like in terms of like, I'm thinking just in terms of like youth clubs and stuff like that, that's just something as simple as that, like things where there are environments where there are other people who know and understand these things and can talk to you about these things, and you can have an open, safe space to sort of deal with these issues and whatnot, you know, like that little boy at 6 years old going into care or whatever it was, you know, however young he was, you know, when he was going into care, like that care, you know, I know I wasn't in the system, but I know people who was in that system, and that system is ruthless at times in terms of how they treat little kids, like, you know, and it's a thing of, you know, you're getting shipped around place to place. No one's really, you know, they're being treated like a number in some of these places, just like, you know, and like that's gonna mash you up as well.
100%. Totally agree with you. And that's basically what I was trying to say. It just inhibits your ability to make the right choices.
Yeah, like it's I think it's a matter of like there's a level of like there needs to be more put back into, you know, the communities in terms of creating these spaces to protect these kids. Because even for me, I dabbled in whatever I dabbled in. You know, I you know, I won't go sit there like I was moving like Sully in the shame, but you know, whatever I may have done, I was doing. You know, it's a thing of. But I know I also was lucky to, you know, maybe I would have gone all the way in if I didn't have a pause. I may have gone all the way into certain, you know, elements of the game if I'd, you know, not had, you know, a youth club or not had football around or not had, you know, certain other things and the other, like even just in terms of certain responsibilities at home, you know, like you have things that are structured around keeping you out of the craziness, you know, that are there to prevent some of the craziness, you know, and whatnot. It can benefit you, it can help you. Like that to me is the biggest issue in terms of these kids. Like there's nothing they can do. They go outside, all they can do is go outside and be around whatever they're around. Like there ain't nothing there for them to you know, there's no safe spaces for them. And even at home, for a lot of them, there's no safe spaces for them. So even if they are feeling vulnerable and feeling scared and feeling this and the other, you know, a lot of us grew up around parents who, whether they were aware or not, they didn't know how to deal with talking to you about stuff, the issues you were probably going through in terms of the streets or in terms of, you know, school or whatever. You know, it was just a thing of, hey, you getting good grades? All right, cool. Are you not getting good grades? All right, you're in trouble. That's it. Like that's about as deep as the conversations will get.
Okay, that's from the previous generation, right? But how about your generation? How would you do things differently?
For me,
if your parents didn't know how to talk to you, to guide you, how have you now learned to now talk to your children to keep them out of this?
Yeah. For me, it's about the creating of a safe space and creating of a space where we can have a conversation about anything. You know what I mean? Like I need to let you feel like, however, that there's to a certain extent, you know, obviously, within reason, there's a level of, all right, cool, say what you need to say, be as transparent as you need to be. Maybe create a situation where, hey, all right, you're not going to get punished if you tell me this, that, and like wherever it might be, you know, like it's, and make sure they feel validated, make sure you're hearing what they're saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, I know, for me, I think I even mentioned it when I was last in the studio, where it's just like feeling like your parents are hearing you, not just talking to you, not talking at you, not talking down to you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just get reclusive. It makes you more reclusive. Like, I know, you know, I was, you know, even more withdrawn from my mum because I felt like she didn't understand and she just wanted to talk at me and just was waiting to tell me off. And obviously with my dad, he didn't care. He was just like, he's just there to give me the licks when I need to get hit. You know what I mean? That was it. So you just felt like, yo, like you need to feel like you can have a healthy communication with your parents and feel like you can say certain things, you know, and whatnot. Like, and also be able to recognize, as a parent, being able to recognize certain changes.
And was the
'Cause I know-
absence of this is what led you into the lifestyle that you were in?
I think that definitely subconsciously plays a part. Like, yeah, for sure. 'Cause I'll sit there on a conscious level. I was even saying to someone in the chat where it's like, on a conscious level, like, it was just money and girls. Like, I was like 13, 14 years old. Like, you're seeing all these top holders, you know, with the nicest garms, some with cars, obviously all with len girls with them. You know, you're sitting there going like, and then here's me, not got no game, having to rock East Street Market's finest. Like, you know what I mean? You know, you're sitting there going, on that level, you're like, on a conscious level, you're just like, yo, I just want what you've got.
All
But then
right.
subconsciously, what's keeping me there is knowing I ain't got those things at home to be able to you know,
Okay.
to sort of focus me, you know, keep me sort of, you know, keep that sort of, you know, build that logic to make me realize how sort of crazy these situations you're putting yourself in are. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay,
you
so
know,
the love,
making sure
care,
you,
and attention that you didn't get from home had you seeking it elsewhere.
yeah, I think that's every kid though. I feel like there's a level of even just like, I think even any civilian, you know, like you get to a certain, especially, you know, you get to a certain age, you're just looking for like the extended family, you know what I mean? You know, who sort of are like-minded, going through the same sort of stuff you're going through and understand you. You know what I mean? So you sort of end up naturally gravitating and creating that group around you. And in some cases, obviously, that's hella positive, hella, you know, hella good, strong people, good values around you. But in many cases, when you're in the trenches, there ain't that many people like that around you. You know, like they may have been like that when they were little kids, but you know, you get, sadly, the realities of life come into play, and you know, you all sort of become, you know, I guess, what's the word? You lose the innocence of it all, and you sort of all sort of end up having that mentality of, you know, like, yeah, we're just all about trying to get out here, make bread, you know, get girls, wherever it may have been, you know, like, and you're all in that sort of same mentality, all creating that family in that sense, and it leads you to making, you know, bad decisions. You know what I mean? You know, so it's about sort of, you know, building, like I said, so even then, so if I'm building at home a person who values, you know, things outside of, you know, the materialistic side of things and whatnot, like I know they can leave home, hopefully, not guaranteed, but they'll be able to leave home when they're seeking those people, when they're seeking their own identity and creating their own family in terms of their friendships, they're seeking like-minded people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you, Ed. Sally, speak to us.
Yes.
Speak to us. Talk to us.
Okay. I've been thinking quite a lot about this, and I'm not sure how we're going to start this off, but I reckon we'll start this way. I think the road to the streets is paved with good intentions. And I can't say this from experience, but I can speak about my experience. And from my experience, what I can see is that growing up as a child, my mum and my family, mainly my mum, she always kind of expressed that my uncles and my father were kind of rebels. She tried to make it out this way, and I don't know if she did this intentionally or if it was subconsciously. But she was saying, because my mum, and I've figured this out, it took me a very long time to discover this, but I think there are two different types of people in life. You've got, well, no, you've got many different types of people, but two categories that people can fall into are, you've got people that are like entrepreneurs and they want to pursue things for themselves. And then you've got people that are workers and they're just happy getting a job and working that job. Now, my uncles and my father, they've always been in business mostly. So my mum said to me that it was, they came to this country and they weren't very good at getting on with people because they were black and blah, 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 and they weren't able to get jobs. So for that reason, they weren't able to work well in the office environment. So for that reason, they went and set up their own businesses, which even now, saying it back, it sounds interesting, at least. Now, growing up as a child, I saw the roots of pursuing your own business, blah, blah, blah. I saw that as rebelling. Now, I don't know if it was consciously or subconsciously, or maybe personally, a part of me feels like I was just always born to do business, and I always would have gravitated towards doing something on my own. But what I'm trying to say is that most people on this planet are not creative. Most people on this planet are not creative enough to wake up and create something that they have never seen before. And with that, what I'm saying is, me rebelling, my form of rebellion was to study less. I did study, but study less and pay less attention to my academic studies and more attention to my own business pursuits. Now, that was me rebelling. Now, if I was brought up in a different environment, then that could have definitely looked like it. And especially like because obviously growing up, we're always told, oh, stay away from drugs, stay away from gangs, blah, 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 blah. But then it could easily change. It could easily change, and you could easily fall down that route, which is why I started with the road to the streets is paved with good intentions, because we're told this stuff, stay away from these things, blah, blah, blah. But then if you're brought up in the environment where these things are normalized around you, you're going to be thinking, oh, okay, well, they say stay away from drugs, but, you know, TK or whatever his name is, some older on my estate, he's been selling drugs and he's all right. Like, he's a decent person. He says hi to me, he buys me chicken and chips. So then now, that just seems normal to you. And then now, before you know it, oh, TK, oh, what? He needs help. He needs a hand. He just needs someone to hold this for him. And before you know it, because something's been normalized, slowly, it just becomes your normal life. And then before you know it, they say, oh, they're going to kill someone or they're going to kidnap someone. I can't let them go on their own. I need to go with them. So the whole thing could have easily been changed if their idea from the beginning was their idea of rebelling. Like, they need two good ideas: a good idea of following the straight and narrow, and a good idea of rebelling. So they need to almost be tricked into thinking that something good is a bad thing. Kind of like how my mum tricked me into thinking that being a businessman and an entrepreneur was a bad thing, if that any of that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. Ben, what do you think? Listen to him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it, but
speak your mind.
No, sorry, I know what that may have sounded like. I just got a voice note from someone suggesting somebody as a guest to come on to talk about this particular thing. So yeah, sorry, I know how that may have come across. Thank you very much, Sally. Yes, the salient thing that I heard from that is the road to the streets paved with good intentions.
Yes.
Did you come up with that yourself? Because I think I've heard that before.
Well, you see, there's a finite way that we can use this English language.
Because it sounded nice.
No, I don't think I've heard it before, but it's something that I thought of as I was thinking about this. But because it's true. It's literally true. Just the same way, like, me in pursuing my own like businesses and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Is everything that we do is paid with good intentions.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me ask a question. SK came on and made a fantastic contribution, and his opinion was that culture was mainly responsible for the predicament in which it is that we are in this cyclical predicament. Do you agree?
I wouldn't say it's culture. I would say it's environment.
So I do believe that is the same thing. It's in culture. That environment in which it is that he grew up in. I think it's in in that. Am I correct, Emmanuel? Did you get that
But,
same thing from SK?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. But because when you say
Mention both as
culture,
well.
what
they're separate,
culture
Emmanuel.
are you talking about?
Yeah, so basically SK was saying both, but also saying that the culture part, in terms of the music, the entertainment, what we kind of engross ourselves in. But the environment also, I guess the lifestyle, the impoverishedness, what's around that we see. I'm saying kind of void of the music and the influence. So they're
Okay,
linked,
so-
but he mentioned them separately.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they're definitely.
So
they're
when he said,
definitely linked, but there's a difference.
sorry, Sally. So when he said culture, he was just talking about entertainment, music.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't want to say that's it, but that's what it sounded like, yeah. Because you also mentioned the environment too. So the environment is something else. So the culture, he kept emphasizing the music though. That entertainment factor.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Go on, Sally.
Yeah, no, and I 100% second that, because, for example, like I grew up in the culture. I grew up listening to all these rappers, blah blah blah. However, the environment that I live in is completely separate to that. It's two worlds apart. So listening to that music, and I'd even use this example. Like, although I'm quite young, I've worked in quite a few different industries, and every time I've started working in a specific industry, like I always think at first, like, how are they doing it? How are they working in that industry? How are they making this money? I just can't see the blueprint. But then as soon as you get into it, it makes perfect sense. And now you're just sending off invoices and blah, blah, blah. Everything's like clockwork. But before you get into it and before you normalize, like in your brain, it's normalized, you're never going to know how to get into it. So just like with the culture and then with the environment as well. I grew up listening to drill. I grew up listening to everything. However, it was so far removed from my life. Although it was part of my daily life in the music I was listening to, I was completely removed from it. So it wouldn't have been possible for me to get into that. Because, like, who was I going to speak to? Oh, I want to go start selling drugs. My friends would have laughed at me. Yeah.
So SK has just
Clarify.
brought some clarity. Let me just read both of them. First of all, he said what he meant by culture is music and film. And then he followed it up by saying environment is separate, which is why I was saying just move if your child is involved in nonsense, as in a better environment, you won't have those negative influences. This is where I'm a little bit confused. Because if you're saying the solution is just to remove them from this environment, he's saying the main problem is what is in environment in which is that they were in before, right? Okay. And that would be what?
What, the drugs and that?
Yes.
Yeah,
and that doesn't speak to him stopping listening to the music and watching the film, right? Mm-hmm. Just so I'm aware. I don't want to...
No, but you talking about SK?
Wait. Can you repeat the question?
What SK was saying. Because when he said culture, I wanted to understand what he meant by culture. Mm-hmm. So he clarified and he said music and film.
Yes.
Etc.
Yes.
Right? I initially thought he meant culture to be environment and the influences within that environment, i.e. the music that we're listening to and this, that, and next, right? But I was corrected by yourself and SK that they're separate. But in reading the second message, environment is separate, which is why I was saying just move if your child is involved in nonsense, as in a better environment, you won't have those negative influences.
Yes.
Now, those negative influences, what is he talking about?
The gang life, the
people,
and,
right? And the impact of...
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yes, right? So this doesn't speak to the music and the film.
Okay.
I just want to make sure.
All right,
cool. Sorry, Sally, continue.
But SK was basically saying both of them contribute, innit? And he's basically saying you have to deal with both of them. But he's basically saying if you're in a situation where, I guess the main influence, this is just my interpretation, right? Is the product, is the environment. Take them out of that environment. Then that influence there, you've kind of nullified that, right? Because in that sense, you could be like what Sally was saying, where you listen to the music, you enjoy it, but you're so far removed from the environment that it doesn't have the impact. But if you're in that environment and that's not necessarily your reality where you can just remove somebody, we have to also just deal with the fact that the music, the culture itself in that environment, us just being in that environment is a negative thing. And that's what's causing the problem in the environment that you even have to remove them from. You know what I'm saying?
So 2 influences, the environment and culture.
Yes.
So removing them from the environment would attack one of them.
Yes.
And stopping them from listening to particular music and watching certain types of film.
Us creating that music as well. That's what he's saying. Creating that music is we need to stop that.
Cool.
I think he also was talking about putting Mr. Alternatives as well.
Yeah,
so it's not
not just stop making music, but make better, different music. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I've got an example. So if, for example, there was an American football player and he moved to the UK, and in America he had access to all the training facilities, all the pads and blah blah blah, and also not just that, but other team players to play with and practice with and blah blah blah. Obviously, out there he'll be thriving playing American football. If he now moved to the UK where American football is a lot less prevalent, he's going to find it hard to play American football here. Naturally, I think it's very straightforward. It's not rocket science. Now he might be like watching loads of American football, blah blah blah, online, etc. etc. However, for him to come here and set up his own American football team and for that to now start thriving, not many people could do that. I'm not saying that it's impossible, because it's very possible, that depending on his determination, blah, blah, blah. However, removing him from the environment where it's possible for him to do this consistently on a daily basis is 100% going to reduce the likelihood that he continues. And then, so now, having said everything that I've just said, if we're to replace the word American football with gang life, then you can see what I'm trying to say.
All right.
Thank you very much, Sally. Good morning, Black Rob.
You're welcome. Everyone have a fantastic day,
Wait, where
man.
you going?
Oh,
Morning.
Good morning, Black Rob. What are your thoughts?
I just wanted to touch on something that SK said that I thought was quite interesting. He said that I think we do downplay the correlation between the household and like there's lots of studies that show there's a strong correlation between like the household and what the children go on to do if they've got like 2-parent households, etc. and stuff like that. So I think that even surpasses culture, but I think both of those are two still both important. And I know that SK said that just move your kids to another area. So let's say you had the opportunity to move your kids to another area. If you still have the same setup, my prediction is that, let's say, because he said that his mom worked long shifts and stuff like that, so he could do what he wanted in the evenings and she wouldn't know. I think the area that you're in and the people that are around you kind of dictate the type of issues that might occur. So if you're in ends, then maybe you're susceptible to gangs, etc., drugs because of that. But if you lived in some next rural area, maybe it might be that, I don't know, what do they do there? Maybe the young kids there do a lot of drugs. Maybe they're getting drunk in the park. Maybe there's other things that they will replace it with, but it just won't be gangs because that's not the issues with that community. So I think it's not necessarily that. I think where you are determines what issues arise when you have the same structure in place. So did you get what I'm trying to say? So if that same person lives in another area, they may be, you get kids in like rural areas where there's nothing much going on, but a lot of them take a lot of drugs. There's lots of they're probably the drug users. They're probably I don't know what those kids have that are their problems, but they have their own problems that are different to gang because of the areas that they live in.
So basically what you're saying, that the stats show that the family household or the family life is more important than what SK said?
100%.
What are you saying?
Yeah, it's the stats.
Okay. So you're saying the stats say different to what SK was saying?
No, I'm not disputing. I'm just saying that he's underplaying the. No, actually, I'm saying it's more important. I'm saying both of them are important, but it's clear as day that there's a strong correlation with the family setup and the kids and how they turn out.
I mean, SK did say that he is part of a single parent household. So he did kind of acknowledge that he's in that particular statistic, right? And then he went on to talk about what life was like within that particular statistic. And I felt that everything that he said was valid.
Yeah, no, I agree with him. I was just adding an extra layer to that because I was saying that how moving to another area, if the other, so you solve the issue of maybe being outside of a culture, quote unquote, that predicates gang life, but then if the infrastructure you have is that you, like he said that he pretty much had all the evening to himself because longer work hours, you can still do what you want. It just not what you want. You can do whatever, but whatever might be different just because you're in a different place. Do you get what I'm saying?
Fair.
So I know I said something really flippant like getting drunk in the park, but that's the only thing that came to my head because I'm like, what do people in like rural areas do that are misbehaving? I don't know. The asthma kids.
Nah,
I don't know what they do, but
I'm not gonna lie,
buildings.
it is getting drunk in parts. I remember I was somewhere far outside London, and I was approaching a roundabout, and I saw a group of kids. It must have been 1 a.m. They were sat in the middle of the roundabout, and I actually asked them like, "Are you guys okay?" And they said, "Yeah, they were just chilling." It was 1 a.m. and they were sat in the middle of a roundabout, just sitting and drinking. I was confused, man. Middle of a
so I'm sure
roundabout, like you see the
yeah.
grass.
Let me just have a quick interjection here for a sec, just on what Black Rob was saying. Just in terms of like, I hear obviously definitely in terms of two parent. I don't dispute. Yeah, in terms of like presence, you're gonna probably have parents around more, but I think, like you said, the structure I think plays as much, and the environment within that and in that home plays as much a part as well. Because it's all good having two parents in your yard, but if all you're getting in that situation is toxicity, violence, abuse, whatever, that's not, what I mean, that don't end up achieving nothing. Or even if in that two parent home, again, there's still a level of just like you can do whatever you want, and there's no structure for you whatsoever, and you are sort of still left loosely to your own devices, and there is no sort of level of monitoring, no level. It doesn't benefit. In my eyes, it wouldn't benefit, because in the same way I look at it, that's the same way I had friends who were doing whatever they were doing with both parents in the house. Like what's going on in your house, regardless of how many parents are in there, regardless of who's in, I think plays as big a part, if not bigger, in terms of what you end up doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't speak on it because my dad in there, so I can't speak on it. But in terms of like from what I've seen from the outside looking in, I'm just saying, I think I can sit there and go, I can talk, I could, not, I could bring up friends who I know, firsthand, their parents were both, 9-to-5ers or 9-to-6ers, whatever it is. And, all they did when they got home was just make sure there was dinner ready. And that was about it. And that was about as much communication as them that would have for the day. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, it's not, you know what I mean? That I feel like it's easy. It's very easy to go, well, yeah, just two parents, but two parents has to be active,
present,
has to be influence, have to have involvement within their kids' lives, have to build an infrastructure around that kid and make sure that kid is, being able to maneuver in life without getting, caught up in the BS. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Thank you very much. Just before we move on, SLM86 says, as long as being a bad man is cool, most young kids will want to aspire to do it.
I think there's truth there, man. But it's not necessarily
that's very true.
Yeah, it's not necessarily just a bad man, like in terms of like bad man in black culture sort of thing, though. But just in terms of like any environment, white people, Asian communities, like women like it. You know what I'm saying? Guys like it. It's just that rebellious nature of a person. I think people aspire to that, like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's part of it.
All right, thank you very much. Hold up.
Wait. But so I just want to add on to that comment. So define what a bad man is to your children. Define what that is to your children. And so if they're walking around life thinking that, I don't know, an engineer is a bad man, and they don't want to be a doctor, then what they're going to do, they're just naturally going to fall into that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I have to say on that.
Last comment from SK. Environment is the biggest factor, and second, the culture, music, film, socials. You can come from an amazing home, but if you live in a gang-infested area and consuming bad music / films, you're in trouble. All right, fantastic last comment. Thank you very much, SK, Saleh, Black Rob, Ed. I don't think anybody else jumped in the call, but thank you very much for your contributions. This is what this is all about. I just want to highlight a couple of comments before we move on.
So it's a pleasure.
Thank you. All right, so the first one is this. From Fax Arsenal. It's a bit earlier on in the conversation. This is proper grinded my gaze, right? And I wanted to address it because I'm allowed to, because I have a microphone. What Iman is saying isn't hard to grasp at all. Why is Brent being difficult? Now, bear in mind, I prefer not to talk on this pod at all. I prefer not to open my mouth at all. Full stop. One, if Emmanuel is the only person in here, I have to talk to him, right? Two, if they ask me questions, I have to answer. Well, I don't have to answer because I have a choice, right? But I don't want to be rude. Now, when I'm asking him questions, I swear, as God is my witness, it's because I want to understand. I believe that my brain is weird. I believe it's weird. I know I communicate in a weird manner. I'm aware of that, right? And that's part of the reason as to why I don't even want to talk on this bloody show, right? Because I know I'm weird. But when Emmanuel's communicating sometimes, it confuses me. And I don't want to be confused because I want to be part of the dialogue. I want to be part of the discourse. I want to understand him, right? Because if I don't understand him, I can't participate. And when he's asking me questions, if I'm lost, how am I supposed to serve him, right? So I ask questions because I want to understand. Anyway, that's the first one, right? Secondly, get Brent off the pod, man. He's just disagreeable for no reason. Sometimes I can be trollish, 120%. But it's obvious when I'm trolling, right? And I thought it was obvious when it is I really didn't understand what the speaker was saying, so I asked questions. But obviously, for some people, it's not clear. So I'm going to try to be clear when I'm forced to speak, right? Or when it is I participate because you want me to participate. I will try to be clearer. But please, I'm not going anywhere. If you replace Brent with any other host on this show, they're not going anywhere. Do you understand? What I would love for you to do, Fax Arsenal, is to jump on Discord. I would love for you to join the conversation and voice your opinion. Tell me where I'm going wrong. Tell me what Emmanuel is actually saying, because all I want to do is understand, right? So for those like SK, for those like Black Rob, for those like Ed and Sally, where they find their way into the Discord to basically talk, I prefer that. I prefer not to talk. I prefer for you to be able to come, share your opinion. If it's in contrast with mine, even better. Because I want a diverse amount of opinions going out there. Because myself, I don't reflect everybody. Emmanuel doesn't represent everybody. So as many voices as we can get into the mix, the better. But I ain't going anywhere. All right, cool.
Hold on, Brent.
Hello.
You see when you're trolling, yeah?
Yes.
Did you say you're going to let them know that you're trolling?
No. I didn't say that.
Okay. Thank God.
Did I
Thank
say that?
God.
Wait,
Because...
let me just get it right. I may
No,
come
because
across
that's what I
did I
heard.
say that?
I don't think so.
All right, cool. All right.
Yeah, no, because yesterday I was speaking to someone about Specs, and I love Specs. I think Specs is a great person, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, a lot of people they take him the wrong way because he's always trolling, blah blah blah." And as long as you didn't say that, then it's fine. But I don't like that. I don't like people that get annoyed with people for trolling because, like you said, most of the time when you're trolling, it's very obvious. So if anybody's getting triggered or, by the views that you're sharing when you're trolling, then they just need to just sort something out. Sort it out, man, because we're all here, and sometimes we talk about serious stuff. Sometimes we make jokes, because if you don't laugh, then sometimes you need to cry. And let's just all live life peacefully and look forward. That's all I have to say on that.
Thanks, bro. I love you too, innit?
I love you too.
Yes. Lovely.
Love.
All right, we're going into the headlines now.
Yes. All right, people, we got a lot of headlines here, right? So next one, trigger warning on this one. And the former Conservative Cabinet Minister, Sir David Davis, has called for a retrial of convicted baby serial killer nurse Lucy Letby. He told the Commons German debate that there was no hard evidence against Letby. Nobody saw her do anything untoward. Sir David said much of the evidence was based on a doctor's gut feeling, based on a coincidence that she was on shift for a number of deaths, and this is important, although far from all of them. He said he had believed that the tabloid narrative about Letby's conviction until he was contacted by medical professionals and academic experts. I didn't read that properly. He himself, he said, believed the tabloid narrative until he was contacted by certain medical professionals and academic experts. He alleged that he had also been contacted in confidence by employees of the Countess of Chester Hospital where Lucy Letby worked. And so, yeah, he told the Commons that there's a case in justice, in my view, for a retrial. Absolute nonsense. Next headline, and trigger one on this one. A rapper has been found guilty of posting a menacing video on social media in which he swore about Tommy Robinson, mentioned artillery, and made a gun gesture while shouting, "Pow, pow, pow." Right? Birmingham Magistrates Court has told the TikTok video featuring Omar Abdiziriak was posted to X, formerly Twitter, by Robinson on August 10th last year, along with a request for West Midlands Police to investigate. So basically, he pleaded not guilty to sending a message of a menacing character, contrary to the Communications Act 2003, but was convicted after a 2-hour trial. Opening the case on Wednesday against the 31-year-old Birmingham-based rapper known as Twister Cheese, the prosecutor, Tim Talbot Webb, said references to guns and artillery in the video meant it had crossed the line from freedom of speech into criminality. The video, which attracted more than 2 million views, was reposted by Robinson alongside a claim that it was a threat to murder him due to lies by the media and politicians. This is what the court heard. The drill rapper said that he had decided to make the video to put Tommy Robinson in his place after seeing footage of broadcaster Piers Morgan and the influencer Andrew Tate discussing issues connected to last summer's riots. Next headline, and NHS hospitals and practices across Lewisham and Greenwich have reintroduced mandatory face masks amid a recent surge of flu cases. So according to the NHS, Lewisham and Greenwich Trust, the move has been introduced to protect our communities from these viruses. Face coverings must be worn by patient-facing colleagues and those visiting patient-facing areas. Visitors to hospitals in the boroughs of Lewisham and Greenwich, this includes University Hospital Lewisham, Queen Elizabeth Hospital, Queen Mary's Hospital, and other community sites will be asked to wear masks, with dispensers providing masks at most main entrances. Bear that in mind, guys. In response to an uptick in respiratory infections, which is often the case during the winter months, several health facilities nationwide have now adopted similar face masks guidelines. Next headline, and oh yeah, I forgot to even say, this is why I mentioned Sadiq Khan the other day. Because obviously I was saying, he's done a poor job in those areas that I care about anyway, yeah. But despite all of that, he's been knighted.
Serious?
Yeah, he's now Sir. That's why I mentioned, but I totally went somewhere else. Anyway, long story short, Transport of London has admitted that Sir Sadiq Khan's £24 million scheme to cut London's tube and train fares on Fridays to boost passenger numbers made no noticeable difference. The Mayor of London claimed the trial was groundbreaking when he launched it in March of last year, while political rivals branded it an expensive election bribe. The 13-week pilot saw train and underground fares set at off-peak prices all day on Fridays, but a TfL report on the trial stated that there was no noticeable difference in the number of pay-as-you-go journeys made at peak times during the trial compared to pre-trial. City Hall hoped that the trial would increase the number of workers going to offices on Fridays and subsequently raise revenue for hospitality businesses by generating extra spending on lunches, after work drinks, and also evening entertainment. Instead, London Underground journeys declined, with the final Friday seeing 54,000 fewer journeys being made than before the scheme began. This is what happens when you don't understand economics. Somebody's going to pay for that, by the way. All of that will be paid for. And yes, it will be us. Next headline. Good Morning Britain host Susanna Reid bluntly shut down the father of Elon Musk after he compared the far-right leader Tommy Robinson to guess who, Brent? There's many people to choose. Nelson Mandela.
Oh, Nelson Mandela.
Yeah. So Wednesday, Reid and her co-host Ed Balls were joined by Musk's father Errol as he defended his son. I'm very interested, Errol. Firstly, in your analysis of your own son, Elon. Is he a genius or completely bonkers? This is what Susanna Reid asked. Of course he's a genius. That's ridiculous. What a stupid question. Reid continued to say, well, people have asked if he's in fact a madman, and certainly there's a degree of madness in being a genius. They went on to discuss Musk's focus on UK politics, as well as his troubled relationship with the Reform leader Nigel Farage. Matters escalated when the father of the ex-owner doubled down on his comparison between a far-right leader Robinson and Nelson Mandela, before shifting to the issue of a Canadian referendum. Reid called the comparison utterly bizarre, quickly shutting down the rant as she interjected, right, Errol. Thank you very much indeed, but I feel that we're drifting slightly from the core issues for our audience. So, in some people's mind, Tommy Robinson is a revolutionary. He's like Nelson Mandela, man.
Do you agree that there's some madness in genius?
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but it depends how you define madness. You got to see something that most people see as insane.
But I reckon, based on what you just cited, it's Elon Musk type quote-unquote madness.
Yeah, and I think that's very much the case. You got to see stuff around you and say, I'm not too sure the way everyone's seen this is correct. And so you'll be branded mad.
So every genius that you know, you would say that society might call them mad?
You may not call them mad, but
not in totality, but they have a fresh dollop of madness in them.
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah, there's something that doesn't conform to what everyone else does. That's how I'm defining the madness. You know what I mean?
But it's important now because when I hear madness, I mostly think there's an instability with your mental well-being, Emmanuel.
I don't agree with that then.
So when you use madness,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about colloquially.
Okay.
Oh, that's mad good, man.
No. I just mean it in the sense of people will look at you strange and think, why the hell do you think this way? We all see it like this, or at least within this sort of spectrum here. You see it completely over there. Somehow, I don't know why. I think all genius, have that sort of tendency.
I guess it kind of sounds like you're saying a bit of an eccentric. Is it eccentric?
Maybe.
It's eccentricity. What do you call it? Is it
I don't
eccentric?
know.
Is that the word?
I think so.
Where it's quirky and weird. Okay. Cool. So when you use words like crazy, the person's crazy, it's not mad for you.
Depends on the context, isn't it?
But I know it always depends on the context. And this is why I was like, in this context, you would still use mad for something I wouldn't use mad for.
Yeah, but as we're talking, you would know the
I
context,
thought
innit?
she meant it as negative, though. In the context in which you're talking about, she means that as negative.
Let me see. She said, he said, of course he's genius. That's ridiculous. What a stupid question. She said, well, people have asked if he's in fact a madman. And certainly there's a degree of madness in being a genius.
A madman. So if you call someone a madman, are you, Emmanuel, if you call someone a madman, are you saying, he's a bit of a genius, a bit of a maverick?
I don't want to sound some sort of way, but it depends on context. So for example, I might think, Messi's a madman for thinking he can take the ball from here all the way down there through 8 players. He's insane. Give the ball to somebody else.
It still sounds like that's positive, though, man.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say to you. So that's, I could use it in that sense, but I could also use it in the sense of, let's just say Tommy Robinson. He's a madman. Look at him. What the hell is he doing? Look at the nonsense that he's doing. So I could use it in both. It depends on what we're talking about. So I can't say I'm only using it in this particular way. You know what I'm saying?
Are you a madman?
I don't know. It depends. Depends on the situation.
Am I a madman?
Depends on the situation, man. I think we've got the potential to be 100%. I think, to be fair, fact Arsenal might say you're a madman. And then a lot of people might think I'm a madman for the things I say too.
Yeah,
so I think, I think everyone's got that. Well, let me not say everyone.
Right.
A lot of people are sheep in it.
Demi's a madman. Von's a madman. Black Rob's a madman.
Black Rob's a madman. Yeah.
Huh?
Black Rob's a madman. No, because Black
You
Rob.
see what he did there?
Black Rob.
You see what he did there?
What did I do?
I was going through some positive reinforcement, and he was like, yeah.
No, that's a positive.
Forgot Von and the other guy, Demi.
No, but that's a positive for Black Rob because I think that Black Rob likes to look into things properly.
Oh,
I'm not saying.
I've read it differently. You're instead you're shitting on Demi and Von. Oh my gosh.
No, I'm not.
Gosh, every opportunity, right?
Oh my
every
God.
opportunity.
This is ridiculous.
This is crazy, man.
This is ridiculous. Anyway.
Mad.
It's all entertainment, guys, man. All right, our next headline. So, remember we spoke about this yesterday as well, innit? Trump's refusal to rule out using military force, economic coercion to seize islands causes disquiet. Yeah, this sentence don't make no sense. European officials have warned Donald Trump against threatening sovereign borders after the US president-elect refused to rule out military action to seize Greenland. The rebukes on Wednesday were led by the German Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, who said that the principle of inviolability of borders applies to every country, no matter how powerful. He also added that Trump's statements a day earlier had sparked notable incomprehension amongst other European Union leaders he has spoken with. Borders must not be moved by force. This principle applies to every country, whether in the East or the West. This is what Scholz later said on X. He also went on to say that in talks with our European partners, there's an uneasiness regarding recent statements from the US. It is clear we must stand together. Last headline is music related. And apparently, music lovers spent a record £2.4 billion on streaming subscriptions and physical music last year as the UK music industry finally recovers from the digital revolution that ushered in a rampant online piracy and the slow death of the CD. Subscriptions to streaming services such as Spotify, Amazon, and Apple, and the revival of the popularity of vinyl, with sales increasing for 17 consecutive years, fueled a 7.4% rise in music revenues to £2.3 billion last year. This according to ERA, Entertainment Retailers Association. The music industry has taken decades to adapt and recover from the advent of the digital era, with billions wiped off the value of the UK industry. Apparently, consumers' spend on streaming subscriptions grew. Their spending on streaming subscriptions, grew at 7.8% to $2 billion for the first time last year. Spending on physical formats, CDs, vinyl, and other formats such as cassettes, that increased by 6.2% to £330 million, and vinyl album sales outpaced the market by 10.5%, in fact, to £196 million, while CD album revenues remained flat at £126 million. However, the figures are not adjusted for inflation, meaning that total UK spending on music is still likely to be below the level recorded back in 2001. The ERA said that the total album sales hit 201.4 million, a figure that includes physical sales and a conversion of streams into equivalent albums, led by Taylor Swift's The Tortured Poets department at 783,820 units. Time to pay the bills, Brent.
We haven't checked in on Stacey. Stacey is living in LA, right?
Yes.
And it's burning right now.
I've already protected her, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I sent something her way.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
But Stacey, call the people so that people know that what I sent you worked. You know what I mean?
Have we covered it yet?
Covered what? The news?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the fires.
Yeah.
Yesterday we did, but I think it got worse actually. You know? Yeah, it got worse. Yesterday we spoke about it. I think it was the first headline. But yeah, apparently it has got worse.
Bare conspiracy theories flying around as to the cause of the fire. You know.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
What are they saying?
It even got to the arena of the UFOs. Apparently, they were saying that they saw the orbs when it was ablaze. They saw the orbs. Pew, 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 pew.
UFOs?
That's what they say.
UAPs?
Man. What?
The UAPs?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. The orb ones, isn't it?
And what did we do?
Oh, Stacey's here.
Thank you, guys.
She's about to say the Babylon worked. Hold up. Good morning, Stacey. We can't hear you. You're muted.
Oh, can you hear me now?
We can. How are you? Are you safe?
Good morning. Yeah, I'm fine actually. We're 1 block away from the evacuation zone because there was another fire that took place in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So we were packed to evacuate, but it looks like they contained it before we can get out. But today, when I was on my way home from work, I could literally see the fire from the freeway. It was really scary. I have another friend of mine who's staying at my house because from her house you could really smell the smoke. So it was a little insane, but it's scary out here.
Don't worry, you're fine, man. You'll be fine. You may see it,
Amen.
but you won't touch it.
Amen.
All right.
Did you get the package he sent?
Huh?
Did he get the protective package he sent?
Oh, I'm like, what package? No.
he said he sent some Babalawo power.
Can you imagine?
It doesn't come in the post. Otherwise, you'll be waiting a long time. I sent it directly to you. Don't worry, you're fine.
It's return to sender.
No, don't return it, you know. Remember, you're only 1 block away. I sent it in the nick of time.
No.
This is not the time to test. Please.
I'm covered by the blood of Jesus. Please.
Yes, don't worry. Don't worry. And the goat's blood.
No. But it is. What did you just say?
He just said, mix the goat blood in with Jesus' blood. That's what he just said. That's what this boy just fixed his mouth to say.
Oh my goodness.
No, but seriously, it's not funny.
Don't worry, you're
actually
fine.
not funny. I have a lot of coworkers who actually lost their homes. Like this is not a joke. Like today, I was just watching coworker after coworker like talk about, oh yeah, so and so's house is gone, so and so's house is gone. Like it's not a game.
Thank you for reeling us back in. We're so sorry. This is responsible.
And it's strange because it's happening on 2 sides. Like it's happening in the Palisades, which is the big one that everyone's talking about, and then a little bit east, maybe like 25 miles east. There's another humongous fire that it's over 10,000 acres. And because all the firefighters were directing their attention to the Palisades, it's literally like people and their neighbors trying to protect their homes.
Oh.
And it's like whole towns like going down. And what's so different about this one is that usually when we have fires, it's like in the valley, but this is the city. So it's insane. I've never seen anything like this before, but hopefully everybody stays safe. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, Stacey, for checking in.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Talk to you later.
Later.
Take care.
All right. Laugh too much on this show, man. So irresponsible.
No, but we're trying to, you know what I mean, lighten the load of certain sad things, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is our laughter gonna out the flames, though?
No. What I sent does. But the
you do it again. You do it again. Stop it.
I mean, I can put it back if you want, but it's all right.
I'll keep it.
But yeah, man, we're praying for everybody out there.
All right, into the reaction.
Yeah. All right, people, welcome to the reaction. There isn't anything to talk about, really. Just a game yesterday, Carabao Cup. Tottenham beat Liverpool, man. Brent, you surprised? 1-0.
Yep, first half.
First leg, innit?
Yep.
So what are you saying? You think Liverpool, when they go to Anfield, Liverpool can take it?
Yep. They'll have enough. Don't worry about that.
It's a damn shame. Would have been a nice Newcastle Tottenham final.
It could still be.
Yeah, but you're saying you don't see it happening.
No, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. Yeah, it can still to beat Liverpool. Anything can happen. I mean, Man United went to Liverpool and drew, so anything can happen.
This is true. This is in fact true. All right. Well, there isn't much else to talk about, to be fair, in the reaction. So yeah.
One day, people, we are going to basically cover this reaction stuff properly. But don't worry, it's just be patient. It's coming. It's coming. Good to wrap up.
All right, people, another good show. Thank you guys for tuning in. As you guys know, we're here every day, 8 a.m. Like and subscribe. I know a lot of you may have subscribed or liked or whatever, but not all of you. But like and subscribe, man. We're trying to get to 6,000 subscribers, man. First thing we spoke about today was the fact that MPs have rejected a Tory bid to launch another grooming gang inquiry. They lost by a crazy margin. Also, trigger warning on this one, just a reminder that the boy who was tragically stabbed to death on the London bus was named as Kelyan Bokassa. And that led us on to speaking about our topic of the day and how entertainment could be fueling what goes on in, according to the masses and stuff. And some of the negative things that kind of shape our communities, man. Is it the lack of both parents in the home? Is it the environment? Is it the culture? So that's what we spoke about today. Big up everyone who called up. We also spoke about the MP, the former Conservative Cabinet Minister, David Davis, who's basically saying, listen, we need to have a retrial for the convicted baby serial killer, Lucy Letby. Absolutely insane. Also, we spoke about the rapper who was found guilty of a gun gesture video, which he reposted on X. Which was reposted on X by Tommy Robinson. We spoke about the fact that NHS hospitals, especially in Lewisham and in Greenwich, are now basically making people wear face masks because of the recent surge in flu cases. And Sir Sadiq Khan, we spoke about the fact that his £24 million scheme to cut London's tube and train fares on Fridays to somehow boost passenger numbers made absolutely no noticeable difference. This is what Transport for London themselves have admitted. So £24 million, guys, down the drain. And guess who will be paying for it? You guessed it, you will. Next thing we spoke about is Susanna Reid and how she shut down Elon Musk's dad after he tried to compare Tommy Robinson to the legendary Nelson Mandela. And also we spoke about European leaders who have warned Donald Trump of his Greenland threat and saying, listen, man, stop this sort of nonsense, man. And also we spoke about the UK music sales and how they've hit record highs. As Taylor Swift, she tops the album sellers, man, which I'm pretty sure no one is surprised about. But yes, it's been a good day, man. Good morning. And we'll be back here tomorrow, of course, 8 a.m. sharp. Like, subscribe, share the video. Let's get us to 6K. Let's keep pushing TDA, TMB. It's going to be a good year, man.
Definitely will be. Bye.
Peace.